And welcome back, everyone. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome to another edition of 2021 NA Apprentice Season 5, Stage 2, Group D. Welcome, everyone. NA Apprentice continues today, and Group Stage 2 is still ongoing. Last week, we were able to cast Group C. Group A and B still have not been casted. I believe there are dates on Twitter, on social media about them, but Group D is here today. Of course, I'm your host and caster, Light VIP, this morning, and joining me is currently just my plushies. I don't have a co-caster at the moment. Maybe one will join me later on, maybe, but at the moment I will be solo casting NA Apprentice, and we'll see how we do. Thankfully, you know, I'm well versed enough with ZVP where I feel confident in all those matchups, and that's what we're going to be starting with. As you can see, PattyMac and Ukko are going to be coming out here. But before we get into our first series, we should probably be having a look at the bracket. Massive shout out to Kuro for making this spreadsheet, and boom, there we go. A lot of NA representation, even though NA Apprentice this season has been opened up to Latin America. No Latin Americans here in Group D, only Americans and Canadians. Unfortunately, it looks like there was a bit of a walkover. Rhizer did get the technical win over Maplez. It looks like they weren't able to schedule their matches in time, so that's honestly a bit of a shame, but Maplez did play out the rest of his game, so there's still a world where Maplez can get out of this group. Honestly, it is a shame that he did forfeit, just because Maplez has been popping off recently, especially in PvP. Maplez has been insane. I feel like I bring this up every time we cast Maplez, but like, yo, he 2-0'd Neeb. Like, he 2-0'd Neeb. That's crazy. Like, Maplez has been insane, so it's a little bit of a shame that he will be starting off with a deficit here in a series that honestly he totally could have taken. He totally could have beaten Rhizer, so he will be starting off on the back foot, but plenty of room for him to come back. We have a Zerg player as well. I know there's a lot of green, there's a lot of Protoss, but it's not full Protoss. You know, we have a little bit of diversity. Unfortunately, if you're a fan of Terran is not what we're getting today. So a bit of a feels bad, man. But we have plenty of Terran in the other groups. Just quickly touching on that, I should probably open that up. NA Apprentice Season 5. If I recall, I believe Vindicta. Future and Dolan, 2 Terran players made it out of Group C. If you want to tune into the VODs of Group C, they are available on our Twitch channel. We did cast them last week, so we will have plenty of Terran in the playoff brackets. Just here in this specific group, we don't have any, so bit of a feels bad, man. If you want to tune into the other groups, Group A and B will not be casted here on this channel. In the coming days, in the next 2 and 3 days, they will be casted by Biomorph. Shout out to Biomorph. He's also covering some of NA Apprentice, I believe over on his own channel. I know he's a part of Alpha X, but it will be on his channel, so you can hop on over there and give him some love. If you're interested in some of the other groups. The other groups, they have players like Trigger, Cats, Pili, Vindicta. Cats is probably the big one. Group A is the one that I'm most interested in, just because it's like, yo, can Cats do it? Can Cats get out of a group? Is he actually practicing and taking this seriously? I don't know. That's a solid question mark for me. So yeah, I know that I will be tuning in as a viewer just to see how Cats does. And that's going to be in 2 days. But enough about Group A. Here we are in Group D, and this is a pretty spicy group. Honestly, it's pretty stacked. I don't know if you remember, but Group C was a little bit lopsided. Roichi was the clear underdog, Future was the clear favorite, and it was a little bit of a toss-up between BioWice and Dolan, but I don't know, it feels like some of the lines were pretty clear and pretty ingrained in the group. Here in Group D, it's difficult because PattyMac, he's, I believe, top 15 on the European ladder right now. I know that he hit top 12. He's been inactive because of Thanksgiving. to be fair, these past couple of days. But a week ago, he was popping off. Maplez, top of the NA ladder, 6k. Ukko has been honestly impressing a lot of people as well over on his side of the pond. Rhizer has been popping off, getting second place in Battle of the Americas, taking down Trigger in a PvP. So we'll see how this goes. I do think that our Zerg player Ukko here is maybe the lowest rated player, but at the same time, he only has to work on one matchup. It is EVP though, so we'll see what he has in store for us. Fingers crossed, mate. Fingers crossed. As a Zerg player, I hope that he does well. I hope that he has some good games, and I hope that he's able to show off his EVP. Maybe even some late game. I doubt he wants to go to the late game. No one wants to go late game. Oh god. As we are going to get ready for our first series. Meanwhile, if you're in the chat, of course, !B if you want to have a look at the bracket yourself, !Maturino if you want to have a look at the Maturino page. I believe the majority, if not all, of the codes have already been used, but there are probably some quest rewards on the side, so you can still support the tournament if you wish. This is still the group stage. Beyond this, we still have the playoffs going on as well. There's still plenty more NA Apprentice to go this year in 2021. As we're going to be getting ready for our first series. Oh god, I almost... Alright, let's go. As we are diving into our first series, as I quickly set some things up here. Boom. I don't think the intros are set up correctly, but let's go anyway. Here in the top left hand corner of Berlingrad LE, we have the Canadian Protoss player. He is yellow, representing License to Kill. It is Maplez. I may have gone into the wrong series, but we'll roll with it. I was supposed to get PattyMac first, but it's fine. It's fine. Spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Berlingrad LE, representing Apprentice Esports. Shout out to Apprentice Esports, the newly crowned BTL champions. It is Ukko, aka Jimmy Pants. Shaking my head. Also, mate, for Nato Ukko, he's actually not on the NA Apprentice team in game. He's on his like own clan. God damn. I don't know what the hell is going on here. But yeah, here we go. We're diving. It's still going to be a ZVP, just not the ZVP we were expecting. It's fine. Don't worry about it. You know, just casting our matches a little bit out of order. So I was a little bit too overeager with my trigger finger there. And yeah, we're diving into our ZVP. So a couple of interesting things to note. Of course, this is a best of 3 series, and Berlingrad was not vetoed. Interesting. Just because Berlingrad is relatively small, because of that, I kind of favor Zerg a little bit here, because Skytoss is sometimes a little bit too greedy to get into, like going like double Stargate Void Ray. But Maplez and North America, like, things are a little bit different here, you know? Like, we have our own meta, we're that much more aggressive. I wouldn't be surprised if Maplez decides to whip out a more ground-oriented opening and composition overall in the mid game. We'll see. Also, shout out to Canuck Prime. Yes, I was asking earlier because when I think of Canuck, I think of Captain Canuck. He's an Alpha X player. But apparently there's no relation, other than, of course, being from the land of Canada, as Maplez is carrying that Canadian flag here, the only Canadian in today's group. So give him plenty of love and support. Meanwhile, I was talking about ground toss, but we still do see a Stargate opening. Just because it's a Stargate opening doesn't mean it's going to be Sky Toss. We have seen plenty of times when a player opens up with Void Rays, and then from there transitions into a Twilight Council, just, you know, first prioritizing getting rid of these overlords and denying all of that vision. but we'll see if we get there. Meanwhile, on the side of Ukko, everything has been pretty normal so far. You know, we have a third base on the way. It was a little bit, or the natural was delayed a little bit. It was forced in the unnatural location, but it's still, you know, it was thrown down nonetheless. Things are a little bit awkward here, so Glaive Adepts could be that much more punishing for Ukko if that came out. As the Void Ray is still on the way, and this Overlord is still being pretty annoying for Maplez. Like, Maplez doesn't want to throw down his follow-up tech, even if it's a second Stargate. Ideally, you want to throw it down after this Overlord goes down, as the Void Ray is going to be making short work of that. Go Canada, eh? I can't even try and do a Canadian accent because Look, I'm from the other side of the world, alright? I don't know what Canadians sound like, other than from movies, and even then. Oh boy. Here we go. So, interesting follow-up. We do have an Oracle after said Void Ray, so no second Void Ray for now. Also, we don't see +1 air attack because Warpgate is being prioritized. We have our third base, but again, still no additional tech. As the Void Ray does get across the map, looking to try and find whatever stray Overlords he can. Unfortunately, only gets the one. Oh, never mind. Got two, actually. What? 2 Overlords? Whoa. okay, sorry. Overlord and a Ling. My mistake. As the Void Ray gets across the map, in comes the Oracle. Ooh, Ukko was being a little bit greedy here. No spores, only Queen. So as a result, 3 drones get picked off and the Oracle survives. Yeah, I'm just now noticing no spores. My god, he's crazy. Like, queens are good, but to skip spores in every single base? My god, the balls on this man. Meanwhile, I was talking so much about, hey, maybe we won't see Skytals, maybe we'll see something different. Nah, mate. Maybe that's what Ukko is thinking. But we do have that second Stargate on the way. We have a Forge, we have +1 air attack, so it's everything we know and sometimes love from Protoss and ZVP. It is going to be Void Rays, there are going to be cannons, shield batteries, all that good stuff here at the third base. Meanwhile, interesting move here by Ukko. He goes for a lair. Because of that, like, he's not necessarily going for the earliest queen push. The creep isn't looking that amazing either. Like, he's not setting himself up to push out across the map, which to me is a little bit worrying. Like, he has a lot of queens to defend, which is great. But what is the play from here? He's taking some more gases. He's taking actually every single one of his gases. Oh my god. And this gets scattered as well. So clearly this man, I would imagine, wants to go into Aspire, right? He wants to go into Corruptors, to go for a bit of like a Corruptor Queen push. Hydras, I don't know. I guess maybe Hydras could work. The Evo Chamber is on the way for +1 range, so it would make sense. Unfortunately, oh, despite all the queens, they were not in position. The fourth base was not protected, and that was a kill, not a cancel. Worst case scenario here for Ukko. This is what I was worried about. Again, the creep spread is honestly lacking. It wasn't in position to help protect his base. The queens weren't in position either, and just things are going from bad to worse here. A queen is going to get picked up. High energy queen at that. And behind this, okay, there we go. I don't know if you noticed, but +1 melee was on the way for a moment. I was like, what? I was like, +1 melee? Okay, let's go. But it was cancelled. He is going for +1 range, and it is going to be for Hydras, not for Corruptors. So this is that much more committed and that much more all in. Hydras, they do fall off relatively quickly once splash damage comes out. Before then, Hydra pushes can be quite deadly, don't get me wrong, but they do take a while. We need all these upgrades to finish up. We need, you know, unhindered economy, right? We need all of our gases. We need a fourth base, and that's not what we're getting here. And charge lots are another way to really shut this down. Ugh. And Ukko is on a bit of a timer. Templar Archives is on the way as well for those High Templar, for sure Archons, but eventually Storm. Oh no, the drones! Jesus Christ. Oh god. Ukko, he's really struggling to expand and take another base. The queens are waddling in one after the other. Oh, one almost gets picked off. Meanwhile, I don't think we've lost a single Void Ray. Yeah, only Adepts have gone down, no Void Rays. And this is interesting. Ukko is pushing out now. To be fair, +1 range and speed are close to finishing, so maybe Ukko can hit a timing. But yeah, we'll see how this goes. Storm is on the way. This is what I'm worried about. Like, as soon as Storm finishes, I feel like Maplez has this in the bag. Like, Ukko, he's got to do something. He's got to either push out or just deny base, right, dude? Like, something with all these hydras. The thing that's worrying me as well, and why I kind of feel the pressure is on for Ukko, is that there is no Infestation Pit, which means there's no Hive, which means there's no Vipers, right? There are no Spellcasters, it's just pure Hydra Queen. And again, like, this kind of composition, it has a bit of a lifespan, a short lifespan. Oh boy, the Void Rays are pushing out once again, looking to try and snipe another base. At least this time, Ukko does have the 4th base up and running. This time, the Hydras are relatively close to protect it, so the 4th base should be okay. The Void Rays, though, they're looking to slip on by, and there's no Overlord here. Like, Ukko has very limited vision. Void Rays do pop up. Queen's already here to protect, but oh my god, they don't have enough energy for Transfuse. The base goes down at the same time. Here we go. The Hydras are pushing out across the map. Storm is done. The High Templar! Oh my god, one of the High Templar does get picked off. Storm gets thrown down on Roaches. Oh my god, the target fire. Every single High Templar is going down. Only one left, and there were no Storm on the Hydras. I was like, mate, all we need are like 1 or 2 good Storms on the Hydras, and Maplez defends. But my mistake, because apparently there were none whatsoever. Void Rays are on the way back home, but they're not here. The Hydra push is actually working for Ukko. Who cares about your Storm? I'll just target down all the High Templar. Anyway, how many died? 5 High Templar. 5 High Templar died, and they only got a single Storm. And it was on Roaches of all things. Oh my god. Ukko, he takes out 2 bases immediately, and now Maplez is in a really rough place. He does rebuild his Hydras. I'm sorry, his High Templar, but they need time for Storm. They're not ready. God, here we go. Maplez, now he's in a really rough place. He's kind of all in. Oh my god, protect your High Templar, please. Oh no! No, not again! Oh! The Roaches are trying so hard. This time they don't get a High Templar. Meanwhile, War Prism in the main base. The Zealots, they do get dropped in. Force a lot of lost mining time. Again, Ukko is on 3 bases. The Void Rays, they did end up killing that 4th base, so Ukko isn't in the best kind of position either, but he does have a lot of supply. I have to remind everyone, though, that this supply is a little bit inflated. Roaches aren't necessarily the best unit right now. If the Hydras are dealt with, then the Void Rays can just go to town on every single Roach. The numbers can be a little bit deceiving at the same time. Like, Maplez is still in a rough place. Oh my god, the High Templar, not again! Not again! Where are the Void Rays? Oh my god. Roaches, they push on 4. These High Templar, get back! We do have another Storm again on Roaches. The Void Rays, they do get recalled all the way back home. Oh, another High Templar gets picked. Oh my god! Papi, please! 8 High Templar have gone down this game. There's only 2 left. You don't want to be a High Templar in this game. It's not a good life. Another Storm lands, but there's too much on the ground. G gets called, and Ukko takes the first game. GG. And as we get into this, massive shout out to Hydras and Colossus. Thank you so much for the raid. I hope you enjoyed your ladder session, potentially cast. Regardless, I hope you enjoyed your stream. Thank you so much for the raid. We appreciate it. We appreciate it. And not just that, but also shout out to Steel Mold. Oh my god, 3 years. Happy, happy Chanukah. Oh my god. 36 candles for me. I can't believe it. It's been 3 years, Steel Mold. It's been a long time. Thank you so much for resubbing. Just 36 months that's a lot of quacks, man. I need something that I've wanted for a while is like an audio file or maybe like a quack that I can trigger here on the stream. We'll work on it. We'll work on it. Jesus. Oh my god, I gotta catch up in the chat. They sound like they have peanut butter stuck to the corner of their teeth. Oh my god. Well, calm down, people. Can't believe it's been 93. Shaking my head, man. Shaking my head. All right, as we're getting ready for game number 2, we are diving on in here, and yeah, very impressive game 1 by Ukko, I guess. Like, I can't really fault Maplez too much. I feel like Maplez was doing all the right moves, other than some lack of control here and there, right? Like, having Void Rays and Chargelets and Storm and Archons, like, that's what you want, but in the end, it didn't really come together for him. But here we go. We are diving into game number 2. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Hardwire LE, we have the Canadian Protoss player. He is yellow, representing Team License to Kill. It is Maplez. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Hardwire LE, we have the American Zerg. He is green, representing Apprentice Esports. It is Ukko. And I mentioned it in game 1, but massive shout out to Apprentice Esports. They're not just funding and running this tournament. They don't just have a pro team, but they also recently won BTL. BTL is a Berserker Team League, the North American team league running at the moment. I say running at the moment, but Apprentice Esports, they're the champions. They were crowned, I think 2 days ago. I saw it on Twitter maybe a day ago, actually. Maybe like 24 hours. But yeah, Apprentice Esports, they're the champions. They actually beat License to Kill in the grand finals. Damn. It's a little bit bittersweet. For those wondering, the CranKy Ducklings, we were competing in BTL and we made it to the playoffs, but we were knocked out in the semi-finals by LTK, by License to Kill. Which was a shame, because we wanted to go up against Apprentice Esports again. Like, I'm gonna fillet ourselves a little bit. We crushed Apprentice Esports in the round robin stage, and we wanted to go at it again, but unfortunately it was not to be. We did not end up facing them, and License to Kill is an incredibly strong team, and yeah, we did struggle against them. Not just in the playoffs, we also lost to License to Kill in the round robin stage. They're terrifying. So massive shout out to Apprentice Esports. It's a great accomplishment and achievement for their team, especially because their team is so new. You know, this is year 1 of their competitive play, as is ours. Maybe we'll get a rematch in a future season. Maybe we'll have another chance to try and go higher. We made it to the top 4. Maybe next time top 2. We'll see. As we're getting into this, and yeah, Maplez, again, he had a very solid opener in game number 1. You know, he was sniping bases, sniping queens. He was taking up quite well. Like, I can't fault him for any of that. It did just come down to the control a little bit. Maybe just being outpositioned as well, not having his Void Rays at home when he needed them to help protect and kind of babysit his High Templar. Like, that's the thing about High Templar, they are so vulnerable. And yeah, Ukko knew that all he needed to do was deal with them, focus them down, and that's what the roaches were for. But here we go. Here in game number 2, it's also been a relatively passive opener. No early pools, no early lair, no early gases. And what I will say is that, hey, Ukko, he was even able to get his natural up and running at the natural location. Something that doesn't happen too often. So, yeah, very nicely done. Was able to avoid the pro block. And we'll see where we go from here. Once again, a Stargate opening. Once again, we have a follow-up Oracle from Maplez. So, everything here is looking pretty standard. Pretty standard so far. Nothing out of the ordinary. And is he gonna go double Stargate again? Like, okay. Like, when I think of Maplez, like, I think of a hyper aggressive Protoss player. Like, I've seen him Cannon Rush. I've seen him Proxy. Ooh, and this is what I wanted to see. We don't see a second Stargate. We see a Twilight Council instead. Let's go. David Epps? Maybe. We do have a third gas on the way, so a decent chunk of gas. We'll see if we do see a Forge for +1, which could signify Stalkers with Blink, but at the moment this is looking like Glaives. If it is, though, as a robot gets thrown down as well. If it is Glaives, I have to wonder how many gateways are going to be committed to this. The other thing that I'm kind of thinking of is that maybe this is for a Dark Shriners. Oh, never mind. 3 gateways get thrown down. Oh, and we have Charge on the way, not Glaives. Okay, okay. Maple spicing things up here. As 2 Adepts do get across the map, I only get 1 drone kill. Not the most value. At the same time, Void Rays are trying to push into the main base, but Queens are already in position. Once again, despite the opening, despite going for an Oracle, Ukko just didn't care, and he didn't throw down any spores at all. Like, if it was a Dark Shrine opening, then he could be punished. I'm not gonna lie. God, meanwhile, the Queens do push away these Void Rays. A bit of a Ling run by at the 3rd, but they shouldn't be able to deny anything here. 3rd is already up and running. We have a Shield Battery, we have Overcharge, even a handful of Zealots. And, we have 2 Temple Archives on the way. Hopefully one of them gets cancelled. Fingers crossed. As Maples is going for Charge Archon with the War Prism on the way. It does signify that he wants to be aggressive initially with these Zealots. Boy, and we'll see what he can accomplish with this. As so far, I believe this has gone, yeah, it's been unscattered. Ukko is in the dark. He just doesn't really know what's going on. He's still on 3 bases though, and thankfully he is making a bunch of roaches, a wave of roaches. Throws down 2 more spine crawlers as well, so he is aware of the aggression coming his way. I believe he did just barely see that War Prism, so he knows that it's more of a ground-focused army. And with these roaches coming out, and with these Queens, like, he should be okay, at least for the first push. Same time, a bit of a Ling run by, but due to the Shield Battery, there isn't too much damage going down whatsoever. Archons are being morphed in, and Maples, he is ready to go. But so is Ukko. Like, Ukko, he's waiting on top of the ramp. He's got his Queens, he's got his roaches. The Queens are honestly not in an ideal position. They're on the front line, so they're going to be taking a lot of this damage and getting picked off. But some nice target fire there. One of the Void Rays does fall, only a single one remaining. And in the end, there is just too much Zerg here. The 2nd Void Ray falls. And Maples, his push just gets shut down. Oh god. And what's scary is the counterattack. Roaches are coming across the map. What is there at home to defend? Sure, there's a Shield Battery. Sure, there's Overcharge. But what is there on the ground? 2 Archons? That is not going to be enough. GG gets called. The fight doesn't even happen. And Ukko takes the series 2-0. GG. GG. Well played. Ukko does it, despite Maples, you know, having higher accolades. Maples recently got to DreamHack group stage. He performed incredibly well there, but Ukko pops off and takes the series 2-0. Damn. Oh, I'll be honest, this is a result that I was not expecting. Oh my god. So, Ukko with a very strong start here. And something that I was talking about earlier is that Ukko only has to focus on one matchup. There's no other Zergs, there's no other Terrans in this group, only Protoss. Like, he just has to rely on his ZVP, and if that's good enough, he can totally get out of this group. Damn. Yeah, wow, GG. GG, and with that, he will be, you know, kind of leading this group. It is a round-robin group, though, so there's still plenty more matches to go. And let's see where we want to go from here. Oh boy, as I quickly try and gather my thoughts, and we'll try and route back to the beginning. Maybe this is too many ZVPs in a row. We'll save Ukko versus Rhizer for later, but here we go. The match that we were supposed to start with. The match that we were supposed to kick off the broadcast. PattyMac versus Ukko. Ukko coming out strong, taking down Maples, taking down the License to Kill player. Can he do the same to the CranKy Duckling? We'll find out. No bias. No bias whatsoever. Alright, here we do. And honestly, that's That's not a good start for our Canadian Protoss. For Maplez to fall there in his first series and to also give the walkover, it's not looking good. Not looking good at all. But here we go. I need to add an alias. God damn. I should have done this earlier. Player name Ukko. And if anyone in the chat knows, what is the story behind his in-game name? As spawning in the top right hand corner of 2000 Atmospheres LE, we have the CranKy Duckling himself, the American Protoss. He is red. It is PattyMac. And spawning in the bottom left, we have the American Zerg player coming out swinging hard, taking down his Canadian opponents, now up against an American. Representing Apprentice Esports, it is Ukko. AKA Jimmy Pants. Why Jimmy Pants? Is Jimmy his name? Is James his name? I don't know. Questions I need answers to. There's only unwinnable matchup. God damn it, Steel. There's a lot of unwinnable every matchup is unwinnable. Confirmed. As for the first time today we are in 2000 Atmospheres. I was happy that we didn't see this in the previous series just because we see so much of this. 2000 Atmospheres, it is a bit of a holdover from the previous season. It is relatively standard as well, but it also favors SkyToss. Time and time again, we've had 40 to hour-long ZVP matches on 2000 Atmospheres, just split map scenario. So I'm a little bit concerned. I'm a little bit scared. Oh, especially for PattyMac as he slips up a little bit, forced to cancel his pylon. Uh-oh. So a little bit of a mistake there. Not the biggest one, but hopefully, you know, it's not nerves. Hopefully he didn't, I don't know, just like wake up in the morning and have his series instead of warming up. So yeah, a little bit concerning, but we'll see. We'll see if it really is indicative of anything or just a little bit of a slip up at the start of the game. We do have a Stargate on the way. This will get scouted by Ukko, and we'll see if Ukko gets punished. We saw in the first series of the day, Ukko really did just avoid spores, despite seeing the Stargate, despite the oracles. He relied purely on queens. It is a way to cut corners, and you do save drones as a result, as long as your queen defense is on point, and that can be abused. There it is. Spam this snack to feed PattyMac. Mate, exclamation mark Funada Yakuzaku in the chat. Mate, have you slept? It's like 6 a.m. It's about to be 7 a.m. In Singapore. Mate, what are you doing awake right now? God damn it. God damn it. Shout out to Thorn96 in the chat. His name is Corey. Okay, so basically, we still have no answer to what the hell Jimmy Pants is, but okay. thanks for that regardless. Thank you. God damn it, Ukko. God damn it. First Overlord does get dealt with. Here we go. PattyMac going for the same opener that Maplez did go for. The Oracle is on the way as well. And we'll see how much damage gets done. Ukko's got to make sure he's got his queens in place, both in his main, his natural, and his third, wherever there are those drones. And Ukko's actually making a wave of wings, looking to try and punish this third base. Go, Void Ray shows up, and this time Ukko actually throws down spores. Oh my god. Okay, so Ukko not taking as many chances as he did against Maplez. I like this, I respect it. Looks like the spores are going to finish up just in time for the Oracle. Beautiful. Oracle gets forced back, only gets a single drone, only one. So, yeah, very strong here from Ukko. Strong start, I should say, and this is what I was worried for. This is what I was afraid of. It is going to be Skytoss plus 1 air attack on the way. Second Stargate Forge. Let's go. And unfortunately for this series, Ukko didn't veto 2000 atmospheres. So PattyMac is going to have a much easier time getting into Skytoss compared to, say, Maplez on Berlingrad, right? That Roach Hydra push pushed out across the map so much faster on that map just because of how small it was. Meanwhile, on 2000 atmospheres, that push would be very much so delayed. And it kind of looks like Ukko is going for the same thing, just because of the Evo chamber. If +1 range does get researched, then it's like, yo, he wants to go for another Hydra-based composition. And I don't know if I'm convinced by that. I don't know. Like, sure, he won his first series with it, but we also saw flaws. As there it is, we do have +1 range. All of our gas. Oh no, never mind. I was about to say all of our gases have been taken, but we don't have our gases here in the natural. And meanwhile, a couple of adepts do show up, but not too much damage is done. We have our links to defend. They didn't go across the map. They were just to help deal with adepts at home. Finally, we have our gases. 6 gases here for Ukko. Void Rays show up, and again, these queens are honestly a little bit exposed. One of them gets picked off. Something like this shouldn't be happening, but unfortunately, these queens just don't have enough energy for transfuse. There's the Hydra Den. I hope Ukko approaches this a little bit differently. I mean, obviously, I can be proven wrong here if Ukko is able to pull off this push. But it does feel like a little bit all in, like the way we saw it on Berlingrad. You know, no infestation pits. The 4th base was delayed by quite a bit as well. Like it's one of those high risk, high reward sort of scenarios. So here we go. At least this time Ukko does hold on to his 4th base. This time the queens were close enough to keep it alive. And oh, PattyMac is approaching this very differently. Instead of going for Storm, he is going for Disruptors. As well as going straight into a Fleet Beacon. My god. So a very different route in the end. This time there is no charge as opposed to what Maplez was going for. And I kind of like this for PattyMac. Like, god, Disruptors, they do so well against Hydras. Not just Hydras, but also Queens. Speaking of Queens, one of them already gets picked off. The second almost does. PattyMac pulls back at the last moment and so far hasn't lost any of his Void Rays. Has to be careful though. Gotta respect the Queens. At the same time, we have a bit of a Roach Hydra counterattack. But we have Shield Battery, we have Overcharge, the first Disruptors coming out. Oh my god, please. Ukko, you gotta get out of here. You can't afford to lose these Hydras. One of them does get picked off, but without Hydra speed, this isn't gonna go well. Hydra speed does finally finish up. He turns around and with nice target fire, he actually gets one of the Void Rays. 2, 3. Oh, does get 3. Is it worth it though? He's gonna try and snowball. I kind of like this PattyMac a little bit over eager, fighting outside of range of his shield batteries. He lost what, 3, 4 Void Rays? Jesus Christ. Far more than he ever should have. So all things considered, that was a pretty good trade from Ukko. You know, Void Rays are good. They're not that good. Calm down, PattyMac. I know people love to complain about the Void Ray, but really what they should be complaining about are shield batteries. Unfortunately, he fought without them, and looking at the units lost, I thought it was 4. It was actually 5 Void Rays. 15 Hydras did go down to get those 5 Void Rays, but again, looking at the gases, was totally worth. And I love this. Ukko, he's not tunnel visioning. We do have a Lurker Den on the way and an Infestation Pit. Like, he's not just committed to like a pure Hydra push like he was on Berlingrad. He is thinking ahead. And yeah, honestly, I'm being impressed. I'm being impressed by Ukko here in this series. Oh god, he does have to be careful though. God, the Disruptors, they want their Novas off. Do send him out, but nice reaction here from Ukko. He does pull back at the last moment. Doesn't take any to the face. Has to be careful though, there's still 1 Purification Nova remaining. So He's just trying to threaten whatever he can. Behind this, we have a 5th base being thrown down. We're fully saturated on 3 bases, 77 drones. That's not a bad drone count at all. And we'll see what he does with this hive. With the hive, you could throw down an Ultra Cavern if you want. You can prioritize Vipers, which is kind of what I would want to see here from Ukko. Ooh, as he takes out a lot of stack defense. PattyMac, probably the biggest thing that he's lacking. Like, his main army is looking really strong, but he lacks so much map vision. Doesn't have any observers. They all get taken out by the Overseer whenever they can. And because of that, Ukko, he's just kind of running around PattyMac at every turn. Finally, one of the Novas does connect, but at the cost of all the cannons, the gas as well. Yo, the Hydras, they want this Nexus. Maybe it's a little bit ambitious. The shield batteries are running out of energy. Finally, we have another Nova coming out. Finally, another good connection. And now the carrier count has gotten high enough. Oh god, the Hydras are all getting picked off one after the other. But they're not going down without a fight. Like, he's still trading pretty well. Like, whenever I see this amount of Hydras go down, I really feel worried for the Zerg player. Like, 47 Hydras have died. But if he's getting disruptors for it, if he's getting gas geysers, if he's getting a couple of void rays here and there, like, it's okay. It's not ideal, but it's okay. The big thing that we're missing, though, and what I'm a little bit concerned about, the hive is done, which is great, right? We got a hive, we got an infestation pit. What is the hive being used for right now? Right now, nothing. We need like Vipers would be amazing. Vipers is the big thing that Ukko is missing. Of course, Lurkers would be nice as well, but typically Lurkers come into play if they're a High Templar, and we don't see any of them. So you could argue that Ukko doesn't need it at the moment. At the moment, though, a storm is on the way. Hydras are coming in. They take out another wave of cannons, but only cannons, as PattyMac does end up responding. And this is what I'm worried about. High Templar with Storm. I said it in the last series, and to be fair, like, all the High Templar died without getting a single Storm off on the Hydras. But Storm does shut this down. Hear me out. Like, Storm is kind of the anti-muta spell for Protoss. So, Ukko, he's got to get ready to get into Ultras. Ultras? I mean, Ultras or Lurkers. As we do finally have one of our Lurker upgrades on the way. No Lurkers morphed in yet, though. Skychus Army does push out. You could argue a little bit over eager. The High Templar are exposed again. Storm isn't ready. No! What is it with Protoss today and taking care of their High Templar? Protoss, please! There's only one High Templar left. Oh god, we have a bit of a premature Nova that goes off. We do have a Storm, but again, it's on the Lings, not on the Hydras. Oh my god, the Ling flank! The final High Templar goes down, and so will the Disruptors. Oh no, not again! What is happening? No! Oh my god, every single High Templar gets picked up. We're never gonna see a Storm on Hydras today. It's just not happening. It's just not happening. Here we go. Ukko, he's maxed out. He's got his Lings. He's got his Hydras. 2-2 is on the way. Actually, even investing in Pathogen Glands. Interesting that he's opting not to go for those Vipers, which I still think is kind of the play. But, you know, if it works, it works. He's hitting the 4th base. Another wave of Zealots and Cannons going down. Does have to be careful, though. Again, there is still that one High Templar in the middle of all of this. Got the Lings. They try to focus down the Disruptors. In the end, they do not get them, as the Hydras are getting forced back. But again, despite that, the majority of the Hydras escape, and 18 probes get picked off. PattyMac, his economy has honestly not been that amazing. Like, he keeps struggling to saturate this 4th base. He doesn't have a 5th. He's been stuck on 4 bases for so long. Here we go now. He's finally pushing out once again, clearing up a lot of this creep, which is nice. Here we go. We do finally have some more High Templar joining the fray. This time, are we going to see those Storms? This time he should. What I'm scared of, yo, where are the Lurkers? There's no Lurkers at all. It's just still pure Ling Hydra. Oh, God. I mean, to be fair, maybe the Lynx can close the distance, and maybe... Oh my god, the High Templar, not again! Four High Templar go down! Oh my god, it's just not happening. Microbial Shroud, even without Storm. This is actually a decent spell. The Hydras, they stand their ground. But in the end, PattyMac still gets another base, another wave of Microbial Shroud. The Zealots, the slow loss, they're coming in. And it looks like there may just not be enough Hydras. Despite the Microbial Shrouds, there's just not enough. PattyMac is pushing through. Mate, who needs Storm? Who needs splash damage? Really, the High Templar, they're just there to bait Lynx, okay? That's all they're there for. Oh my god. Meanwhile, charge is finally done. In come the Zealots. And that's going to be more than enough. What's important is that sure, there are all these Infestors, but they've ran out of energy. They have no more energy left for any of their spells. No Fungals. And the Sky Toss, it's just rolling on through. PattyMac's like, mate, I don't need Storm, and I don't need a 5th base. Let's be real here. It's the threat of Storm that's more terrifying than anything else. And with that, PattyMac, he takes a 3rd, he takes a 4th. GG, well played. PattyMac takes game number 1. Oh my god. GG. It wasn't the cleanest game. It wasn't clean whatsoever. I was honestly so scared. Like every single time I saw the High Templars just die horribly and without casting any of their spells, I'm like, oh no, PattyMac, please. But you know what? I didn't have to be worried. You know, he did reach critical mass of carriers. You know, so I guess he didn't need them. To be fair, Ukko was also lacking in Hydras. I do think if he had a bit of a higher Hydra count, then maybe he would have been able to deal with it. And eventually overwhelm whatever Skytross there was. But yeah, wow, what a game 1. I was worried about a split map scenario, but didn't really come into play. GG. And now, we are diving in to game number 2. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Berlingrad LE, we have the American Protoss player himself, the CranKy Duckling, currently leading this series 1-0. It is PattyMac. And spawning in the top left hand corner of Berlingrad, oh my god, going for a 12 pool opening, we have the American Zerg player. He is green, representing Apprentice. He boards, killing the doggo. No! Ukko, please. I said his name. It is Ukko. Oh, the poor doggo. He did nothing wrong. As a Zerg player, hold on. As a Zerg player, there's no reason. There's no reason to kill the dog, right? Like, I mean, especially in this matchup. Against a Terran, it makes sense, but against a Protoss? My god. Because I know the dog can get into the mineral line and it can mess up, like, Evo chamber blocks and stuff, but there's no need for that. Oh my god, we have a proxy hatch on the way! Oh my god, let's go, PattyMac. He doesn't know. It's not just a 12 pool, it's even more committed than that. The drone is about to show up. Throw down that hatchery. We do have a probe in position, and this is a massive tail, by the way. Oh god. Up. The micro. PattyMac, no. Oh, it looks like he's gonna lose the probe, and with the death of that probe now, this drone can do whatever he wants. As he actually opts not to throw down a proxy hatch. In the end, he does throw down his natural base, was forced into it. Lings do show up, but the first zealot is already out. The wall is a wall. And yeah, that was some cute play. What I will say is that we have another wave of Lings coming, and this Cybercore is getting low. Yo, oh god! The Cybercore, it looks like it's gonna go down. The Zealot is gonna get surrounded as well. The second Zealot is trying to join up with his buddy, but one of them does go down. And with only one, no, the second surround! PattyMac, please! He just has to buy time for the adepts, but it's too late. The cyber core will get picked up. And that was well worth it for Ukko. Like, that's insane. Like, killing the cyber core, you delay warp gate, you delay +1. Another important thing, the Stargate wasn't thrown down in time. That's what you need to do if you're PattyMac. If you're up against a 12 fool, and if you know that the cyber core is going to fall, you need to throw down your Stargate as soon as possible, because if you don't, then it's so delayed because you have to wait until the cyber core is rebuilt. Ay. So PattyMac's in a really rough place. Sure, he didn't die, but he's really been crippled by this opener. These two adepts, they got a lot of work to do. Stargate finally gets thrown down, but it's so late. Adepts, they get across the map. One of them already gets surrounded. Mate, this is not... This is... somehow they get surrounded by slow lings as well. This is not looking good for PattyMac. Like, the problem is that now he's going to be forced to stay at home and kind of turtle up a little bit. But the problem with that is that we're on Berlingrad. Like, sooner rather than later, Ukko, he's going to be pushing out across the map. He's more than likely going to go for what he loves going for, and that is, you know, going into a lair, getting your gases, throwing down a Hydra den. And, like, because of these early advantages, like, Ukko's going to be in such a good place. Oh, and PattyMac knows that. So he throws down a Twilight Council. Are we thinking Glaives here? Honestly, I would kind of like Glaives. We'll see how many gateways do end up getting thrown down. Oracle's on the way after the first Void Ray. Oh, never mind. Actually, we don't have a Void Ray at all. Oh my god. Okay. PattyMac, he's more concerned with dealing damage and killing workers than denying vision, which, again, makes sense considering the situation that he's in. But Ukko, he's playing it safe. We already have a Spore. We have a Queen here at the natural. Spore in every base, actually. And the Oracle doesn't really accomplish much. At least he confirms the gas count. He also confirms the lack of lair, so... you know, he gets some scouting information. And there we go. There is Glaives. We do still have a Roach Warren on the way, so, I mean, at least Ukko's not being too greedy. The Roach Warren should finish up by the time the Adepts show up. But I'm concerned if he only drones from here. Like, ideally, you have a wave of Lings to help buy some time, chase the Shades, at least long enough for those roaches to pop out. Speaking of, in comes the second Oracle. Now, finally, some of these drones can be one-shot. A little bit of mistargeting, though. Actually targeting the Queen first. Oh, God. Like, what is happening? Like, PattyMac, this game has just been... not even this game, but this series. I've seen him perform better than this. Ugh. Oh boy. Well, here we go. The Adepts are on the way. Glaive should finish up by the time they do get across the map. And what is there to defend? This is what I was worried about. With no Lings and only drones, like, these Adepts, there's nothing to really stop them right now. There still aren't any roaches in production. Oh my god, he's supply blocked! Ukko supply blocked! Ukko, please! Finally, he's losing some queens so we can make some roaches, but 4 overlords are on the way! Yeah, this is not the time to be supply blocked, Ukko! Oh my god! The boys are forced off the line. Drones are going down left and right. This was not meant to deal this much damage. 18, 9, 20 drones! Ukko, please! Finally, the Adepts get cleaned up, but 24 workers go down. To be fair, this shows how far ahead Ukko was, despite losing more than just a mineral line. Like, the worker counts are still pretty even. Oh god, the roaches are going for a counterattack. What's a little bit scary is that PattyMac did skip his Void Ray earlier, so he won't have any Void Rays to defend. The roaches are still a little bit threatening. There is a shield battery though, there is overcharge, there are force fields, so PattyMac should be okay. I'm still in shock by what just happened. Like, that was the worst time to be supply blocked. Oh my god. And it's not like there are void rays out here killing overlords as well. It was just Ukko slipping up a little bit. Jesus Christ. Meanwhile, in comes PattyMac looking for more worker kills. Looking for more drones, and he'll find a couple. Does get one. Up, up, up. Does get two. Ugh. Does get three for the price of one of his oracles. And from here, PattyMac, he's transitioning into charge lots. Wow. And he's already got a decent immortal count. Like, this is insane. Like, PattyMac has come back into this game. He had such a rough start. Like, the start of this game, I was feeling really doubtful for PattyMac. I was like, mate, Ukko, he's gonna tie this up like easy. There's no way. But I don't think anyone foresaw 26 drone kills, 24 even. Crazy. Even have a dark shrine as well for DTs. PattyMac is just going for everything. Meanwhile, interesting move from Ukko. He's going for a hidden spire. This hasn't... Oh, actually, I was about to say this hasn't been scouted, and yeah, so far it hasn't been scouted here. So something like a Muta switch could be amazing. Hallucinating Phoenixes are out on the map. Are they going to see this, though? Ooh, it looks like they will. Wow. Scout was not denied. The Spire has been scouted. At the same time, though, Ukko, he's across the map, denies the fourth. At least he gets something here with his army. Oh my god, and he just completely outpositions his opponent. PattyMac only has a single shield battery here. Sure, we have an overcharge, but Lings get into the mineral line. Oh, shield battery does go down. Thankfully, PattyMac, you know, he wasn't too far away, so he does clean this up, but again, Ukko, he's making some moves happen. Nothing amazing yet, but a couple of nice moves here and there. Denying the fourth base, you know, killing a couple of probes, getting the shield battery. And I guess more importantly, just keeping PattyMac at home. Oh god. But the DTs do reveal themselves. And I am just worried about this push. PattyMac does have to set up for it. We saw Ukko get supply blocked, and PattyMac is also about to get supply blocked as well. Like, PattyMac, once he pushes out, he's going to be looking to warp in a massive wave of zealots. But he has to make sure that he has the room for that. PattyMac is pushing out. He actually has a Warp Prism lined up to go into the main base. Nexus does finish up, and that will help when it comes to supply. And there we go. 4 pylons get thrown down. War Prism gets in. The main army is distracting that of Ukko, but the Queens were in position. We don't see a warp in into the main base. Thankfully, we have a second War Prism. Oh god, here we go. Finally, the big engagement. The slow Banes are actually going to connect with the army. The force fields are not going to be good enough. And with that, these Immortals, they're so exposed. The sentries, they're not here anymore. And where are those charges that we were talking about? Only 2 get warped in. God, we need another wave. We need a buffer here for PattyMac. And he just did not have it. Looking at the gateways, we had 10 gates behind this, but it was not enough. The Roaches, they're trying to get on top of the army. We have the Biles that they do connect with the Warp in. With the Warp Prism, they deny the Warp in. Oh my god, all these Immortals are going to go down as well. There just wasn't enough here to protect them. Despite PattyMac having like 5 Immortals, we barely had any Zealots there. They get warped in towards the end, but it's a little bit too late. Ukko just crushes the army. Hey, who needs Baneling speed? Not Ukko, mate. That's what I can say. Sure, PattyMac is here. He's across that, but oh my god, no, the War Prism, it's queued up! No! War Prism almost goes down, but it doesn't even matter. In comes the army. The Banelings roll into the mineral line. Not just one, roll into 2 mineral lines. Jesus Christ, 32 probes go down. The economy of PattyMac in shambles. He barely has an army. And what can PattyMac do from here? He doesn't have an economy. He can't warp in. He's got a handful of Archons. GG gets called and Ukko fights back. Oh my god, GG. Despite things not going his way, despite him losing so many drones to those adepts, didn't even matter, mate. Didn't even matter. He was able to claw himself back into it. I do think that PattyMac was a little bit overeager. Like, he had 10 gateways. All he had to do was be a little bit more patient, warp in a wave of zealots, and then push in with his army. But he was lacking a little bit there. Maybe feeling a little bit overconfident, I would say. I wouldn't blame him, right, when you have 5 immortals like that, and you're up against mainly a Roach Ravager army. But yeah, GG. Oh, hello, Hanette, hello, and I missed this earlier. Oh, right. Massive shout out to, not necessarily Hanette, but Lord Loken. Welcome, Lord Loken, to the stream. I feel like it's been a while since I've seen you, but I know you've been busy with work. Regardless, thank you. Thank you so much for the gifted sub. We appreciate it. We appreciate the support. And yeah, with that, we are going to our ace match. Let's go. Spawning in the top right hand corner of Hardwire LE, we have the CranKy Duckling himself, the American Protoss player. It is PattyMac. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner of Hardwire LE, we have the player who just tied up the series 1-1, the American Zerg, representing Apprentice Esports. Some know him as Jimmy Pants, but it is Ukko. Shout out to Neo in the chat as well. The Ducklings, they're showing up. They're here for their boy. Up. As Ukko actually kills the cleaner, but God, Ukko, please leave the critters alone. And interestingly enough, PattyMac actually doesn't go for a probe across the map. He doesn't even try to deny the natural base. So yeah, Ukko is able to take the expansion. Even keeps his Overlord above his base to make sure there is no cannon rush, no shenanigans. And yeah, pretty standard opener here, which is important to point out because Ukko did go for a 12 pool at the start of game 2. I think that's important to note as well, is that game 2 was like a roller coaster ride. It was like, yo, Ukko comes out with a 12 pool and he kills the Cyber Core, he deals damage. At the same time, PattyMac, he fights back with Glaive Adepts. And then Ukko comes back from that. So yeah, very, very back and forth. Chad PattyMac doesn't need to pull any probes. No bias. I thought it was Jim Rising at first. No. Ukko, the American player. Unfortunately, Jim Rising didn't take part in NA Apprentice. He probably could have, but at the time of the qualifiers, Jim Rising was kind of neck deep in Age of Empires and Halo at the time. I'm pretty sure Halo came out around that. But yeah, hopefully we see more of him, because again, NA Apprentice this season did open up to the Latin American region. For the longest time, it was only the US and Canada. But Season 5, they have opened things up for, you know, the rest of the Latino American scene, which is why we had players like Davo, like Neo, like Cats as well, Eon. And hopefully we see even more Latin American representation next season, next year. It'd be great. Be great to see. Meanwhile, of course, we do have a Stargate opener coming out from PattyMac. He did delay his wall for this, so he's being a little bit greedy. Honestly, if Ukko wanted to, he probably could have gone in with all of his lings and scouted with just his lings. At the same time, you could argue maybe he doesn't need to. Somehow, some way, though, this Stargate has remained hidden. Yo, Fornada, this Overlord. Shaking my head. There are very strong NA players. I guess there's no problem for Jim. Yeah, no, honestly, Jim would have qualified 100%. Mate, if Cats can qualify, Jim can qualify. Let's be real. Meanwhile, we actually have a decent amount of links coming across the map. 16 links. Maybe a bit of an overinvestment here. Like, Ukko, he sees that there is no third base. He knows that, from what we're seeing, it's still just a two-basing Protoss. I guess really he's more concerned with delaying that third as best he can. But yo, we have a Robo follow-up. Oh my god. Okay. I'm intrigued. You have my attention, PattyMac. Is he gonna go for a Robotics Bay? There's no way. There's no way, right? So here we go. 4 Glaveless Adepts are going across the map. Meanwhile, 2 Oracles have been backed up. Are we gonna see a third? That would be wild. Okay. Only 2, only 2. No triple Oracle. As the 2 Oracles are headed towards the main base. No, we've seen this before! Spores are finally being thrown down, but there's no Spore in the main base. Finally, it is on the way, but it's honestly a little bit late. It's gonna be close. The Adepts are on the way. Meanwhile, at the same time, we have a Ling Flood coming out from Ukko. These Adepts are going to be caught out in the middle of the map. And what else do we have at home to defend? Oh, we have a couple of sentries. The Robo is not really being put to use. Oracles will show up and they will get a decent amount of drone kills. 4, 5 drones go down. Oh my god, he's committed. Oh, he doesn't even care that he loses one of his Oracles. 11 drones fall. But look at this massive Ling Flood. Third base gets denied. Only the third, though. I don't think they can break into the natural. There's no Baneling Nest. If there was, maybe. But even when with these defensive sentries, the Lings honestly can't really do too much. Now Ukko, he's forced to stay back and expand. I say expand, I mean join up. Oh boy. Meanwhile, I mean, he tries to go for a Ling run by. Force fields are a little bit too good though. Does snipe the probe, again, delaying the third base for as long as possible. Sure, he lost all these workers, but if he keeps PattyMac on 2 bases, then it's kind of okay. Kind of. Kind of. As I see 5 more gateways thrown down, we are seeing ground toss here from PattyMac. Immortals are on the way. I wouldn't be surprised if we see charge behind this alongside +1. And I'm a little bit afraid here for Ukko. I think my biggest fear right now is that, mate, Ukko, there's no reason for him not to expand. Like, he's keeping his opponent at home, he's delaying the third base. I understand that there is the fear of a 2-base all-in, but now that he's confirmed the third, mate, let's get another base up. Let's go. Depths are on the way. Thankfully, Ukko has been making some roaches, but only some, not too many. He had to focus a lot of his larva on droning up because of how many drones he had lost earlier. Boy, we only have 2 roaches. We'll see if that's going to be enough. The Adepts do get across the map. They don't have glaives, so again, these aren't the most threatening of Adepts. And it looks like with these Lings, they should be enough to push PattyMac away. He misses a shade, but he doesn't get into a mineral line, so Ukko is safe and sound at home. At the same time, Oracles will show up and they get a couple of drones. They deny some mining. But a really nice defense from Ukko. And behind this, he drones up even further. 71 drones on 3 bases. Wait, get a hatchery, please. There we go. We got a hatchery on the way. Thank God. Ukko's not tunnel visioning too much here. He's good. He knows what's up. And behind this, we're getting ready for our Charge Lot Archon push. Hopefully this time a little bit better executed compared to game 1. I mean, sorry, game 2. Game 2 was a little bit mistimed there from PattyMac, it felt. And we'll see, because again, that Immortal count is getting pretty high. This time we have a decent gateway army to buffer as well. That's probably the most important thing. And PattyMac, he just goes in and confirms the scout. I do like this from Ukko. He is going Roach Ravager Ling Bane. Honestly, this is pretty solid against early game ground toss or mid game ground toss, and it can work very nicely. Unfortunately, the Baneling nest is a little bit delayed, which means that Baneling's speed is delayed, so he won't have the best defense possible, but he just needs to buy a little bit more time. More importantly, he needs to warp in some, or morph in some Banelings, because the Zealots, they're coming. They're on the way. Here we go, we do have a handful of Banelings. Is it going to be enough though? I don't know, we have a lot of energy for force fields. The army gets tagged. And interesting, PattyMac actually respects the army. He sees it and he backs off. Which I appreciate, you know, especially because he's waiting for Storm. Like, it would be quite an anti-timing if he fought without it, especially with all these High Templar. But that's the biggest problem. Storm changes everything. I've had to eat my words earlier today though. Like I've been like, yo, Storm though, and then all the High Templar die. We saw that in Series 1. We saw that in this series as well in Game 1. So High Templar, there's a lot of potential, I should say, if the Storms connect. If they avoid the wrath of the Ling Bane. God, but that's a lot of High Templar. That's a lot of Storm. Like, there's no way. Ukko, sure, he's up in supply, but a bunch of these Lings are being caught out at the same time. A massive warping of Zealots into the main base. The Lings, they come back home, but they trickle in and they're all being dealt with. Finally, the Banelings show up, and the Banelings will be able to clean all of this up. But at the same time, PattyMac, he wanted to buy time. Oh god, Baneling run by though, does get into the middle line, and it will connect. It will get a nice chunk of probes. Boy, 30 more Lings in production, but PattyMac, he gets a 4th base up and running. I feel like this game, Ukko's been a little bit scared. Like, it took him much more longer than usual to get his 4th up and running. He hasn't been droning up either. Like, he is maxed. He's ready to go. We'll see if this will work for him. He's not all in, because he does have a hive on the way, so thankfully he is taking up. It's just his economy that I'm really concerned about. Like, sure, he's 200 supply, but with this kind of army, pushing into this many High Templar, it's a tough ask. And I feel like Ukko realizes that, so he does throw down a Hydroden. He's like, oh, maybe I do need lurkers here. But again, a little bit late. Oh my god! Despite that though, the Banelings, they do find some connections in the middle line. Tries to go for the 4th base, but does meet the Storms. Does meet the army. Can't find a way in. Not yet. At least he's trading though. At least he is keeping PattyMac busy. There we go. There is the 5th base on the way. Ukko, he's got a pretty massive mineral bank. I wouldn't be opposed to even double expanding at this point. And here we go, another push towards the 4th base. PattyMac's army always seems to be a little bit out of position. Like, Ukko's done a really good job at maneuvering around around his bases. They still can't break in. At the same time, another Baneling run by. Oh my god, every single time, Ukko, he's ready for these run bys. And he keeps finding damage. Sure, it's not big numbers like 16 plus probes, but 8 probes every time is not bad. More importantly, there are no more shield batteries here at the 4th. 3rd or 4th even. Oh boy. This is kind of best case scenario here for Ukko. Behind this, Lurker Den is on the way. He has been transitioning. He has been taking up. He's not there yet though. He needs to trade out supply if he wants to get Hydras out and Lurkers. Oh god, and this is not how you do it. You don't want to be throwing away supply. You want to be trading. It's a couple of Ravagers do get caught out. Meanwhile, Roach Rumby is being set up. Love to see it. And we do have him warping across map again. No shield batteries, no cannons. Like, this mineral line is pretty exposed. Speaking of exposed, Ukko is getting ready for a full surround. Storms are good, but how good are they really going to be? The Banelings, they crash into Archons. The Storms get thrown down, but every single High Templar gets taken out by the Banelings. Oh my god, best case scenario here. Best engagement from Ukko. Is it going to be enough? It looks like it is. There are only 2 Immortals left, but they're still breaking through. And even though the High Templar went down, the Archons are still standing. Oh my god, the Banelings crash in. I was like, the Archons are still standing strong, but they barely had any energy. The Biles connect as well, take out another of the Immortals, and there's just not enough Protoss here. He doesn't have enough momentum. The Ling reinforcements are going to be enough. Every single time. Again, you don't want to be a High Templar today. We saw some Storms, but nowhere near as many as PattyMac wanted. Oh god, that was so close. What I will say is that behind this, Ukko doesn't have the best economy. He doesn't have a bank. PattyMac isn't completely out of this. Like, look at his mineral bank. Like, shield batteries, cannons, set up. Do what Protoss does best. Okay, we do have shield batteries on the way, but I think it's a little bit too late. Oh my god, in comes the Zerg. We don't have enough energy for Storm. They're forced to turn into Archons. And it looks like the 4th base is going to go down. The Lings, they get into the mineral line. Archons get picked off left and right. There's just not enough here. GG gets called and Ukko does it. He takes his 2nd series of the day. He takes down Maplez and he takes down PattyMac. Oh my god. Mate, Ukko's popping off. It's crazy. I came into this group being like, Ukko is kind of the underdog. Like, Ukko, he's kind of looking at the rest of the players. The other players are a little bit more highly ranked. But Ukko taking down both Maplez and PattyMac, 2 6K players. Damn, GG. At least when it comes to this matchup, Ukko, he came prepared. Wow. GG, well played. My heart goes out to PattyMac. He's my boy. He's not out of this yet. That was his first loss in this group. But he cannot afford more. Oh boy. GG. Well played. And with that, I think I think Ukko is confirmed out of the group. We would have to do some math here, to be honest. Maybe not confirmed, but Ukko's looking. He's looking good. He's looking good. He's only got 1 series left. He's looking primed to get out of this group. Jesus. Ugh. And from here, even though, if I look at the Wikipedia page, our next series should be Ukko versus Rhizer, I kind of want to save that. I want to save that a little bit here. We've had 2 ZVPs in a row. Let's spice some things up here. Let's dive into one of the PvPs. A lot of Protoss here, which means we are going to have a decent amount of PvPs as well. Which one should I go for? Okay. Here we go. We'll set ourselves up. I hope Canuck Prime is still here in the chat because we are going to be following one of our players, our CranKy Duckling, into his next series. Not against Rhizer, but against Maplez. Oh boy, Maplez had a rough series against Ukko. Very rough. But PvP, I feel like that's where Maplez thrives, and I'm honestly a little bit scared for PattyMac. I feel like this is kind of the matchup that Maplez is the most comfortable in. And he's dangerous. He's very dangerous. Oh boy. We'll see. We'll see if the Duckling can hold his own here against the Canadian. You really blend in naturally with the... Is it a natural blend? Is it natural as it looks like? Oh, as it looks like we did have a bit of a recover from replay here, but spawning in the bottom left-hand corner. Yo, everyone was watching. Jesus Christ. The entire LTK crew. Oh my god. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Hardwire LE, we have the Canadian Protoss player representing License to Kill. The only Canadian in this entire group. It is Maplez. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Hardwire LE, we have the American Protoss player. He is blue, representing the CranKy Ducklings. Oh my god, getting cannon rushed. It is PattyMac. Oh my god, this is what I was afraid of. Okay, here we go, PattyMac. How good is your cheese defense? We do have a Forge first opening here from Maplez. And PattyMac is already taking this very seriously. He's pulling a couple of boys. He's chasing down this probe. That's the thing. Maplez has a reputation. He already threw down a pylon. And cannons are going to be on the way after that. Oh, does he wall up? Up! He does not. The probe goes down. The probe goes down, but a second probe shows up just in time. Oh no, Maplez! Mineral Walk! Takes a decent amount of damage already. Oh no, there's no way this probe survives. God, it's so close to going down. Same can be said for the cannon. The probe, no! What? PattyMac, please! The probe, it gets out! Wow, Maplez, he lubed up his probe. He was ready for this. The third probe shows up as well. The cannon finishes! And with the completion of this cannon, is this it? I mean, PattyMac still has kind of control of his main base. As a response, he didn't throw down his own forge, which is a little bit dangerous, to be honest. We don't have anything else in production, by the way. PattyMac, he's kind of freezing up on us. There's nothing here. The cannons are finishing. I think it's over. Like, there's no warp gate. It's going to take so long for this adept to come out. And again, there's no forge. PattyMac, he's across the map with the probe. Is he gonna like try and Nexus recall? Like, what is the plan here? Is it a Nexus? Yo, it's a Nexus! He's gonna recall! I kind of love this, but this also feels kind of late. That's what I'm worried about right now. Alright, the adept does come out. The adept has a lot of work to do. PattyMac, he's sending it across the map. If there's no cannon here, and if the micro is good enough, this adept can kill everything. Meanwhile, sure, there are cannons, but they are stationary, right? They're dealing some damage here and there, but all these workers, they will be evacuated to safety. Probes are being pulled. This adept already dealing some damage. Has to avoid getting surrounded, and there it is! GG gets called! PattyMac takes the game! The adept was all he needed. Oh my god. What are we watching? Maplez, you just needed a cannon at home. That's all he needed. One cannon at home. Welcome to North American PvP. It's beautiful. You love to see it. GG. Yeah. Well, what else is there to say? I don't even know. Oh my god. That's what we're here for. That's what we're here for. See, this is why I love PvP. As a Zerg player, I still enjoy this matchup just because of how explosive it can be. Especially in this region. But here we go. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Glittering Ashes LE, we have the Canadian Protoss player. He is yellow, representing Team License to Kill, currently down in this series, but not out. It is Maplez. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Glittering Ashes LE, we have the American Protoss player representing one of the best teams out there, the CranKy Ducklings. It is PattyMac. Oh my god, we have another Forge first. It's happening again. It's happening again, and hopefully this time the defense from PattyMac is a little bit stronger. Again, like, the fact that Maplez was able to keep his probes alive and accomplish as much as he did with his cannons was impressive, to say the least. It was just that he had nothing at home to defend. That was the biggest issue that Maplez had. He didn't recognize that the Adept was on the way across the map, which honestly he should have seen. He should have seen the Adept with his initial cannons, as the Adept did reveal itself. Meanwhile, here we go. Maplez playing with fire right now, dancing in between the minerals. Like, my god, he's crazy. The first probe goes down. Of course, the second does show up, and he will be able to throw down the cannon. Will be able to attempt to wall off, and he does keep this cannon safe and sound, snuggled between the two gateways. For the most part. There is a little bit of room there for the probes. Oh my god, he cancels. The cannon is exposed, so the cannon is going to go down. He tries to cannon rush behind the mineral line instead. He does fully wall off. Bold move, buddy. Bold move. The boys were already pulled. Like, these pylons are going to fall. And here comes the Zealot. Cannons are on the way, but PattyMac, he's going to break through. God, it's going to be so close. Here we go. The first pylon is going to go down. In comes the Zealot. Oh my god! Maplez with the quick re-wall! Jesus, the split second. But it may not matter here. The Zealot is breaking through. The pylon will go down, and there is only a single cannon. And we have two Zealots. Mate, there's no way. Two Zealots and probes are greater than one cannon. There is no third probe. So PattyMac, he's dealt with this. He's defended. Maplez, he has to expand. He has to transition. Oh, as the probe will fall. I can't believe the probe was still alive, by the way. Crazy. Just absolutely wild. And Maplez, what do you do from here? He throws down two gateways. I mean, fair, you need them, right? His cyber core is going to be delayed because, man, you need a gateway if you want to make a cyber core. Goes for a faster expansion, but this is so risky. I mean, I would have assumed that he would have transitioned to another all-in, right? Like, maybe a faster... because... yeah, I was about to say, if a gateway had finished across the map, he could throw down a cyber core and then maybe a Stargate. Speaking of Stargate, though, Stargate is on the way here for PattyMac, and Maplez has no idea. Oh boy. So the pylons will eventually be cleaned up. We have another probe on the way here for Maplez. The Chad move would be for him to just try and cannon rush again, using these pylons. That'd be insane. But the probe does get in, and hey, he's got the Stargate. He's at least aware of the tech. So everything is being cleaned up, and what do we have at home for Maplez? We have two Stalkers on the way. Stalkers will definitely help against the oncoming Void Ray or Oracles. Shield batteries would be nice. At least he does have the faster Nexus, so we can get a superior economy. But it will take a while for that to really kick in. Like, one basing Protoss is still pretty terrifying. There we go. Thankfully, PattyMac is going for his own expansion much later compared to his opponent, but again, because of the opening, it's kind of okay. It's pretty okay. We have an Adept threatening the mineral line. There we go. We have our shield battery. Mineral line for now is safe and sound. We even have an overcharge if we have energy available for it. So Maplez, he's doing a decent job here at just securing his bases. Like, sure, there's potential for damage with this Void Ray, but as long as the Stalkers are where they need to be, like, Maplez should be fine. Should be, as the Void Ray is about to show up. Maybe target down one, maybe two probes. Oh. Does get none. As the Stalkers are here, Void Ray gets forced back. Yo, these pylons are still alive. What? PattyMac, please. Happy. Honestly, these two pylons are pretty huge. Like, Maplez is actually relying on them right now. Like, finally he's throwing down additional pylons, but yeah, it actually could have come into play. Speaking of coming into play, we do have a hidden pylon here. Are we going to see a Dark Shrine? Oh, God. Oracle dips in, forces some lost mining time. We have our Twilight Council. We have Blink on the way. And there it is. We do have the Dark Shrine. This is a dangerous location, by the way. If this... Oh, no, never mind. I was going to say that if the Void Ray like tries to fly back home, it could end up running into this proxy. But in the end, it was recalled. So some nice moves here from Maplez. He didn't rush to get into the Dark Shrine. It's more of like a follow-up. It's more of an afterthought in a way. And because of that, like, the likelihood of PattyMac being prepared for DTs isn't very high. Especially because he's going to dip in with his oracles and he's going to see +1. He's going to see Blink being researched. Like, everything is looking pretty normal in here. But there are 2 oracles. Speaking of normal, they do one-shot workers, and shield batteries don't matter in this scenario. Oh god, 6 probes get picked off. I was about to say, really? No oracle's gonna go down, but thankfully, Blink finishes up. Maplez is able to punish those oracles at least a little bit by picking off one of them. That was a lot of probe kills. And now the worker counts have evened up. But to be fair, Maplez does have a chance to retaliate here with this Dark Shrine. When it comes to detection, what do we have? We have 1 oracle for revelation. 1 oracle. We do not have a... Oh, no, never mind. We got a robo. We got a robo. We don't have an observer yet. So, potentially, the DTs could sneak in and focus down the robo. But there we go. Observer is now on the way. We will have detection. DTs aren't going to win the game for Maplez. Boy, meanwhile, here come those Stalkers. DT slips into the main base. We have plenty of shield batteries, you have overcharge, the main army cannot break through, but the DTs do slip in, and PattyMac is a little bit distracted. What does he go for? He goes for the pylon. Oh, he's taking a little bit of a gamble here. At the same time, he's trying to spread the attention of PattyMac thin. Just get 1, he's gonna get the 2nd. Unfortunately, there's already an observer. If there wasn't, this would be a great move. But it's kind of a moot point. As the DTs do get cleaned up, at the same time, the Stalkers, they dip in. The Immortals are a little bit exposed. Oh, but he doesn't dive on them. To be fair, I get it. Overcharge, you know. As tempting as this is, it's not really. And PattyMac, he defends. Behind this, Maplez, he takes the 3rd base. I do appreciate this, that with the map control that he had and with the fear that he was striking into PattyMac, he was able to take advantage of that and get even further ahead economically. But, oh, that was the... that was the Oracle. The 2nd Oracle dipped in and will snipe. So, I mean, you know, at least Maplez, he gets that. Easy clap, as he would say. Oh my god. Yo, PattyMac doesn't even care. He's like, alright, buddy, you know, take your wins where you can. Oh god. I'm just really concerned about this counterattack. Maplez just doesn't have much going for him. He has an economy, but he's about to lose that. As the 3rd base, there's no shield batteries, there's no static defense whatsoever. The army was a little bit out of position. Finally, he shows up. He does have Blink, but there are Void Rays, there are Immortals. Like, there's such a strong backbone here for PattyMac. Finally, all the Void Rays will get picked up, but the Immortals, they're just putting in so much work. Is it going to be enough? We have even more reinforcements here. Even without the reinforcements, PattyMac was overwhelming what Maplez had. And it looks like this is going to be it here. Again, like, there's just no response to those Immortals. Just pure Blink Stalker. Sure, Maplez does have an upgrade advantage, but, oh god, Immortals don't care about your upgrades. As all the boys are being pulled? Oh god. Maplez doesn't even care anymore. He's like, let's go. And he's like pulling a Skylar. Yo, he can pick up an Immortal at least. He gets 1. The boys are coming out to play as well. We do have a forced recall, but again, like, Maplez is not going to turn around with this. He's just got to go. And PattyMac has so much time to respond, and he can always just pull his own boys. Alright. Just send everything across the map. 1v1, mid-map, all or nothing. Ooh! Maples, he wants to challenge PattyMac. He's like, fight me without your shield batteries, like a man. And let's go, he pulls his own boys. What is happening? Stop the probe on probe violence, as everything is being pulled here. And again, that one lone immortal, all these soul quests is just too much here from PattyMac, despite even having the worker disadvantage. But oh my god, what a series. That's gonna be all she wrote. Even if there were DTs here, we have detection. So PattyMac, he was fine regardless of whatever there was. GG gets called, and PattyMac takes it 2-0. GG. I love that PattyMac actually responded to his call, by the way. He's like, you know what? If you're gonna have fun and if you're gonna just pull all your workers, I mean, I'll do the same. You know, why not? Respect, mate. Respect. I love it. GG. What even? GG, well played. PattyMac takes his first series win here, and my condolences to the Canadians in the chat, as this will confirm that Maplez is out of this group. He will not be making it. I should be saying he's eliminated. He will not be making it further in this tournament. That was his final series, and GG. At least he did provide some entertaining games. BM into dead. Oh god. I have to admit, whenever I read PattyMac's name, I'm thinking of Patty Cake. That's fair. That's fair. We used to have a different intro for PattyMac. It used to be M. Canning's illegitimate son. Maybe legitimate. I don't. Don't want to spark any rumors. Went out on his shield. True, true. GG, well played. And with that, I think now is a good moment to take a bit of a step back and have a look at how this group has been progressing. Lad's co-casters may not be speaking much, but they are very, very valuable for the analysis. True, true. My boys, my boys. Oh, God. Look, sometimes we need some insight from a fellow duckling. Oh my god, no! I keep forgetting, because of this effect on Discord, sometimes my duck gets like... Sometimes Discord thinks that the duck is a part of the background. And you can see, like, yeah, it's... Oh god. It's turning purple on me. It's turning into a ling. Oh god. My poor duckling. It doesn't affect the mic, though. It doesn't affect the mic, only the duck itself. But yes, we've already had quite a night full of matches. Again, we started things off with a bit of a walkover, so it was a bit of a shame that we didn't get to see more of Maplez. I would have loved to have seen Maplez versus Rhizer, just because we would have seen more cannon rushes. Let's be honest, let's be real. It would have been a lot of fun. Ukko surprised us all, by the way. Ukko 2-1 PattyMac, and he 2-0'd Maplez. And I still think that in game 1, like, Maplez, he just had such a big advantage. In a lot of those ZVPs, like, the Protoss players were looking really good, but Ukko's engagements were really what won him those games. His engagements, his priorities, his ability to just focus down all these High Templar. Like, Ukko is like the High Templar sniper. He killed, like, over the course of the day, he's killed like 20 High Templars, and like they've only been able to get like 3 storms out. It's insane. It's been brutal what Ukko's been accomplishing. And of course, we did have PattyMac come out with his win over Maplez as well. So we only have 2 series left, and those 2 series will feature a player that we haven't casted yet, and that is Rhizer. Rhizer is going to be coming out strong. And we'll see how he does, because even though we haven't been able to cast him, Rhizer has been honestly playing pretty well. He recently took down Trigger in a PvP in Battle of the Americas. And honestly, Trigger is a top player in North America. Trigger is the best Protoss player in Canada and top 5 players overall in North America. So yeah, very impressive that Rhizer was able to pull that off. So a little bit worried about that PvP. Meanwhile, PvZ, a little bit more up in the air. Ukko has just been dominant. What league is this tournament? GM. If you're asking for MMR, around 6k plus. I know Ukko is a little bit below 6k, but he's been taking down 6k players, so it's like, damn. it's incredibly impressive. I thought Duckling was a Zerg. I guess so. They provide a non-biased view. Only biased towards the Ducklings, the CranKy Ducklings. I love how Terran is accurately represented among them. Yeah. There are no Terran plushies. Like, what do you want from me? Like, Carbot never made any Terran plushies. I did order that charge lot, by the way. The rage lot will be coming soon, TM. But there was never like a Marine plushie, never like an SCV plushie. Like, what do you want from us? Like, yeah, it's so weird that Blizzard never came out with that. Just probes, banelings. Where's my baneling? I'll get my baneling later. But like probe, baneling, zergling, the carrier replicas. Yeah, very little Terran kind of plushie. That was another word that I was looking for. Products. It was another word, but it's fine. Don't worry about it. Where'd Future go? This is Group D. Future was in Group C. Future has already made it to the playoff bracket. Oh my god. We'll be seeing more of Future later. Jesus Christ. Alright, but enough about that. Did have a little bit of a break here. And let's dive back in. And I kind of want to save Ukko versus Rhizer as our final series, I think. Maybe? No. You know what? We had our PvP. We'll leave the PvP for last. We'll go for Ukko versus Rhizer. Let's go. Let's see how this story ends. If Ukko wins this series, he's confirmed to advance on as first place in this group. Something that I did not expect. So let's set some things up here. Beautiful. We will finish with the PvP, and we will continue with our PvZ. Let's go. God, I haven't seen Future around in many tournaments lately. Yes, for those wondering, we were talking about it last week. Future actually didn't compete in DreamHack Winter. He didn't compete in the most recent season of DreamHack. So, honestly, I assumed that Future had retired. I assumed that he was gone, that he was going to focus on his studies. But he surprised us all by playing in the qualifiers for this tournament. I was like, what? When we casted the qualifiers for NA Apprentice, and when I saw Future in the bracket, I was shocked. I was like, oh my god, he's back. And it's a good thing, don't get me wrong. It's great that he's back. And he's performing well, so we will be casting more of Future in the playoff brackets. But enough about the playoff bracket, because we're still here. We're still in Group Stage 2 in Group D, and spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Pride of Altaris LE, we have the American Zerg player. This man has been on fire in this matchup, representing Apprentice Esports. It is Ukko. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Pride of Altaris LE, we have the American Protoss. He is purple for the first time. We're introducing him here today, representing Team LTK, licensed to kill. It is Rhizer. Looking to avenge his fallen teammates. Maplez was his boy, and Maplez had a rough day. He had a rough showing here. Did take a game, I believe. No, he didn't even take a game. Maplez had, just a rough showing, coming out last in this group, but Rhizer looking to avenge him. boy. Yes, as Zero is putting in the chat, !B in the chat if you want to have a look at the Wikipedia page. There are no spoilers on that page, so you're free to look at it. To look at the other groups as well, as Group A and Group B will be played this week in the coming days. Boy, and that'll feature players like Vindicta, like Zero. Zero as well. Like Cats, Trigger. A lot of very strong players. As for the first time today, we're on Glittering Ashes. Oh my. So yeah, I'm honestly pretty excited. There are a couple of nice features about this map. The biggest one is the gold base. And this gold can very naturally be taken as a fourth. Obviously there's a world where maybe Ukko tries to be cheeky and tries to take it as a third, but it's honestly pretty exposed and it's so risky to do so. But taking it as a fourth isn't the craziest thing, especially if you have decent creep spread by that stage of the game. Speaking of, because this map is so long, queen pushes honestly aren't that common. I have seen them from time to time. I don't think I've seen a queen push succeed on this map, I'll be honest. It's not necessarily what you want to be doing. And to be fair, I don't think we've seen Ukko go for a single queen push at all today. He keeps going for Hydra timings instead, so we shouldn't be seeing any queens coming out. Or again, only enough queens to defend from the initial Void Rays. Meanwhile, the Adept gets across the map, is able to get a transferring worker, so a nice little pick off here. Is also able to confirm the third base, there's no 2-base shenanigans or anything like that. Eventually this Adept will be dealt with, but again, just being as annoying as possible. And we'll see how Rhizer approaches this, because he did open up with a Stargate, which is pretty standard, but from here, is he going to go Skytoss? I don't think Pride of Altaris is a bad map for Skytoss, so, you know, we could see it here, or maybe we'll see something else. We were fortunate enough to cast a decent amount of Rhizer recently. We casted Rhizer versus Cham in the finals of Battle of the Americas, but honestly, Rhizer struggled a little bit against Cham. Cham is a unique player there. Has his own approach to this matchup. I think we even saw Swarm Host in that series. It's crazy. We did actually. I'm pretty sure Cham played on Pride of Altaris. I think he took the gold and he went Swarm Host. It was insane. Absolutely insane. But yeah, I doubt we're gonna see that here, as the third base is on the way. There it is. We do have +1 air attack, so it is going to be Skytoss coming out from Rhizer. Feels bad, man. And the Oracle dips in. Again, Ukko being a little bit greedy here without a single spore, and oh, he pays the price for it as 4 more drones get picked off, and the Oracle escapes. Like, this is something that we've seen from time to time from Ukko, is he's just sometimes a little bit too greedy, especially when it comes to spores. Like, sure, he's forced to throw down 1 at his third, but he still doesn't have any. Finally, they get thrown down at the natural and at the main base, but incredibly late. Meanwhile, the Oracle is again just being a little bit annoying, just chipping away at this base. I don't think he has enough energy to force a cancel, but gets it pretty low. And this is pretty important because, the Void Rays are coming across the map. They want to finish off that hatchery. Oh, the queens are here. Or are they? Some of them actually go back to injecting. They go back to spreading creep. And this base is looking that much more exposed. Uh-oh. Void Rays are ready to dive in, they're ready to activate their prismatic alignment, and that's exactly what they do. And you cannot transfuse these morphing in buildings, so we should see a cancel. Up! Oh, that was pretty close. So nice moves here from Rhizer, the Void Ray count getting even higher, and we'll see how he complements these Void Rays. Maplez, he went for Charge. He went for Charge Lot Archon to help support Void Rays. Instead, PattyMac went for Disruptors, eventually into Storm. Here, Rhizer goes for neither one of those options. He doubles down and goes for a Fleet Beacon and a third Stargate. So just hyper-committing into Skytoss. And this can be a pretty risky thing. Oh, not if he gets another cancel. Jesus, the fourth base. Just not long for this world. The queens are able to push us away. But yeah, so this is this can be a little bit risky because again, you delay your splash damage on the ground, which is what you want against Hydras. Speaking of, Hydra Den is on the way. So things like your Storm or your Disruptors, like again, AoE is delayed for quite some time and you won't necessarily have it for the first push. So Rhizer kind of cutting his own corners here. We'll see if he gets away with it. The Twilight Council is still on the way, so we'll see if from here he goes straight into something like a Templar Archives, which is kind of what I expect to see, but we'll see what he does with this. Carrier production already commencing. He has Flux Veins, so he can be active and mobile with all these Void Rays. Meanwhile, Rhizer has actually Ukko has actually done a really good job at spreading his creep. Like, overall, it's not amazing, but like, there's this one creep highway going all the way towards that third base. And that's exactly what the Hydras need. Speaking of, +1 is about to hit. We do have Hydra speed. Interesting. Quickly checking the vision here. Ukko did get into the main base, and he did scout that carriers were already in production. And I like this. He's responding to that with a Spire. I think he's recognized that, hey, usually I go for a Hydra timing. I don't think it's going to work here. I know that I'm going to have to think further ahead and already work on my Corruptors. Speaking of Hydra timing, Hydras are across the map, but they get scouted by Rhizer. Rhizer, he knows we do have shield batteries on the way at the fourth base. We have a warping of slow lots, charges on the way. It's not going to be done for the push, but Ukko, he's scared. He knows he got scouted and he doesn't want to risk it. So Ukko does back off. Rhizer, he secures his fourth base. Again, just with the threat of being aware of his opponent. Oh my god. Void Rays, calm down. Oh my god, what is happening? Oh jeez. Okay, bit of a patrol move here from Rhizer. You know, he's just psyching himself up. He's getting ready for the Hydras. I'm gonna look away. This is giving me anxiety. Jesus Christ. This is not natural. Look at the, oh my god, look at the Adepts. Meanwhile, oh my god, again, no Spore here, and the Oracle escapes! What? This Oracle has 11 kills! An Oracle never has a right to have 11 kills, that's insane. Jesus. Rhizer, he does get away, but I love this. We do have Corruptors in production. Interesting that Ukko also prioritizes Carapace instead of +1 flyer attack, so with this, Corruptors will actually survive a decent amount against specifically Interceptors, carriers essentially. So yeah, focusing a lot more on survivability, less so on DPS, will definitely help out. And Ukko, he's just got to defend. Void Rays are trying to deny the fifth base, but this time the Hydras are here in time. We will not have a denial. Ukko will get this up and running. Ooh, the carriers are a little bit exposed. Oh my god, no! Oh, Jesus Christ. If there was creep here, honestly, Ukko could have chased this down. Unfortunately, there is no creep. These queens, they gotta get to work. I mean, please. Oh, never mind. I guess we're not caring about creep here. Instead, we are pushing on out. Ukko, he is maxed. He's got his Hydras, he's got his Queens, he's got his Corruptors. Unfortunately, the Queens are going to take a while before they meet up with the rest of the army. And what do we have to defend? Oh, we don't. No, sorry. We do have Storm. The High Templar, though, they need a little bit more time. I think they maybe have enough energy for one Storm at the moment. Not even. Oh boy, but soon they will have that. Meanwhile, the Corruptors, they dip in. They pick off one of the Void Rays. I think almost two. Not bad, but this wall is a little bit rough. Ukko is having a hard time breaking through. What I'm surprised about, by the way, only one shield battery. Like, the fourth base is heavily fortified. But what about the third? The third barely has anything. Oh, no. Rhizer, please. Like, shield batteries are your strongest unit. We need them, Buffy. We need them. Meanwhile, we do have the Storm on so many of these Queens. Transfuses are good, but are they that good as we have a second Storm? And as a result, the majority of these Queens, they're going down. They don't have enough energy. At the same time, in come the Corruptors. They do target down one of the carriers, but Prismatic Alignment is going to be enough to push this away. Never mind. I don't know if this is the fight you should be taking, Ukko, as he tries to go toe-to-toe with the Void Rays, but again, Prismatic Alignment is insane. Ukko gets forced back. And as all this was happening, mate, we had a massive zealot run by. We don't have game heart. No. How many workers went down? 16 or so. Oh boy. The mineral line fell and the base. So Rhizer was able to defend. What's impressive to me, Rhizer defends with only a single shield battery, and he's able to spend some resources and some time in counter-attacking like that. So beautiful defense by Rhizer. Ukko, again, misjudging a little bit, loses a decent amount of corruptors, and now he's in a really rough place. He lost more than he gained in that fight. He is working on an Ultra Cavern, which will definitely help against the High Templar. But in the meantime, he's going to have to rely on these Lings, and it's a little bit rough, especially when we're talking about all these Archons. Rhizer, he's pushing out. He's maxed out with a pretty terrifying army. He has Storm. He has Archons to, again, zone out all of these Corruptors. There's no Lurkers. There's no Archons. I mean, sorry, there's no Ultras. That's what I meant to say. We have a bit of a surround, though. Nice moves here from Ukko, but is it enough? No, it is not. The High Templar just gets saved by the War Prism, and we have the Storms. Beautiful moves here by Rhizer, keeping all of his High Templar alive. This is the difference between Rhizer and PattyMac and Maplez. Rhizer actually saves his High Templar, and GG gets called. Rhizer takes the first game. GG. Again, when it comes to a later game like this, like, investing into early Hydras like that does kind of set you behind a little bit. Like, that's a big gas investment. And again, he wanted to hit a timing with +1 and speed earlier, but that never really came to fruition, so he had to, like, try to fall back into plan B. And I do like his angle of attack. I did like that he was attacking the base with, like, very minimal defenses. But he just didn't have enough to really break through. GG. XVX unwinnable. True. Yo, I'm surprised. Steel Mold is still awake? Oh my god. I hope you're okay. Steel Mold is usually asleep by now. But yes. XVX unwinnable. Oh. I gotta catch up. What else is what is happening here? So much is happening. There's too much to catch up on. I need more SC2 today. The Liquid tournament was done love. True. TSL is going on. Massive shout out to Team Liquid and Shopify, as well as all their sponsors. TSL. It's an amazing tournament. It's pretty daunting, to be honest. Like, it's a massive bracket. It's just like, oh my god. There's a lot of StarCraft going on right now. Not just TSL. King of Battles just finished up. Something that a lot of people are forgetting. DreamHack Last Chance is around the corner as well. Oh boy. Alright, here we go. Here we go. We are diving into game number 2 of this best of 3 series, and spawning in the top right hand corner of 2000 Atmospheres LE, we have the American Zerg player. He is green, representing Apprentice Esports. Popping off in this group, but not so much in this series. It is Ukko. Okay, what do they say? XXX on. Oh god, oh god. It's spawning in the bottom left hand corner of 2000 Atmospheres LE. We have the American Protoss player. He is purple, representing License to Kill. Currently leading this series 1-0. It is Rhizer. Once we get into the last chance qualifiers, we'll pretty much know who is going to IM Katowice. True. Very true indeed. Even then, like, DreamHack Last Chance, it usually favors, like, the top-heavy players that already have a lot of points. But yes, it should be coming in December. I'm pretty sure dates for the qualifiers are already public, but I haven't looked at them myself. Of course, if you want to tune in to the DreamHack qualifiers for Last Chance, that will be here on this channel. As always, we'll be providing as much coverage as we can. StarCraft is never ending here on the CranKy Ducklings. Never ending. Oh boy. But speaking of never ending, this is actually our final ZVP of the day, and Ukko pulling a little bit of a Dark here. So Dark was doing this all of last night in ESL Open Cup Asia. Every single game of his ZVPs, he would open up with a very fast third hatchery, and what this does is this delays your queen. We do have our first queen being made at the natural base, all the way here at the third. The one in the main base is quite late, and this does mean that you are vulnerable to early gateway harass. Not just early gateway harass, but like early aggression in general. Especially if there was like a proxy or something like that. So you do take a bit of a risk when you do this, but if you get away with it, you do get a big boost to your economy. So Ukko taking a bit of a risk here, but I mean, it's going to pay off because Rhizer, he's only got a single adept across the map, does target down one of the drones, but escapes with his life. And this is a little bit scary. We have 2 adepts now. Uh-oh. With 2 adepts, of course, you can one-shot these workers. They're headed towards that mineral line. Slow links only to defend. Oh, no. Ukko, please. He tries to wall off, but the wall is not a wall. 4 drones go down in total. 4 drones this early on? Mate, not like this. And the adepts are still alive. Here we go. The Lings do finally catch them, and they should be able to clean this up. But the adepts have already paid for themselves, and they've weakened things up for the follow-up Oracle. Mate, is this going to be a short game? Like, again, no spores whatsoever. We have 1 queen at each base. The Oracle can dive in whenever he wants. Meanwhile, the Lings are across the map, so Rhizer is a little bit preoccupied with the defense. But the Oracle dips in, and he can just target down workers left and right. 3 go down. 4. Oh my god. Oh god, no. 7, 8, 9. Are we going to get into the double digits? Jesus Christ. 9 drones go down. I think that's game. This is a devastating amount of damage. Let's be real here. 13 drones going down in the early game. Sure, we had the faster third hatchery, so we had more drone production in general, but like any kind of advantage that Ukko wanted with that is completely nullified. More than that, like he is behind at this point. And meanwhile, Rhizer, he's just getting into his game. You know, we have a Stargate opening, we have a double Stargate, we have Forge. So I'm just scared about the eventual Void Rays once they pop out. Right now, Ukko, he's doing the best he can to, again, stabilize and spread as much creep as possible. He's not going to have that much energy on his queens for transfuses, which is what I'm worried about once the Void Rays do show up. Oh boy. We'll see. We'll see how this goes, as again, that is still a little bit ahead in the future. Ukko at least confirms that the third base is on the way, so that he knows that there's no one-base shenanigans. The Void Rays are about to reveal themselves. Oracle gets picked off, but not before getting a couple more worker kills. Oh, 2 more even. And the Void Rays will show up. There's not enough energy for transfuse here, so they could potentially target down one of the queens, but there are 3 in total, so the Void Rays do back off. For now. And what I'm worried about is that once we get 4 to 6 Void Rays, oh boy, I don't know, buddy. This 4th, there's no way. There's no way this 4th base gets up. Rhizer, he's already on the way. He's looking to deny it. And the queens, they're here at the natural, nowhere near where they need to be to protect this base. In come the reinforcing Void Rays. We do have prismatic alignment. There we go. We do have the cancel. And this queen should be safe. There we go. We do have a transfuse, keeping it alive at the last moment. Rhizer, he's forced back. And now it's on Ukko to try and get a base up and running. Maybe even double expand at this point. Maybe. See, as he does have a hatchery on the way. Rhizer, he just rotates around. Ukko, he's so far in the dark. He just finally regains control of one of the Zelnagas, but he doesn't have the other. Also, I just realized that I'm using the GPO logos mod. Oh god. Uh-oh. So Void Rays are about to show up. Thankfully, the queens are not too far behind. There should be more than enough here. Void Rays do not get a lair. And speaking of lair, I should have taken note of this. We have a Nidus on the way. Let's go. We don't have the creep spread to walk across the map, but who needs to walk when we have a subway? When we have a train coming across the map? Let's go. Nidus is on the way. No, it gets scouted. Oh my god. The Nidus is not gonna finish. Rhizer, he's on top of it. The Void Rays are coming back as well. Oh, actually, never mind. The Nidus does finish. The queens keep it alive. But for how much longer? We do have... Oh my god, the feedbacks is so important here. There's only 2 transfuses left. Here we go. The Void Rays do come in clutch. Thankfully, they were already on their way back home. We have shield batteries, cannons on the way as well. High Templar, as soon as they finished up their feedbacks, they were immediately morphed into Archons, and they're already done. And with that, that is enough to force Ukko all the way back. Another Nidus on the way. Again, ignore this logo. This, this is not the logo for this tournament. Don't worry about it. So Nidus will finish up, and we'll see if Ukko can snowball from here. I'm a little bit concerned because I feel like Rhizer, when it comes to his army, he's stabilized quite well. He already has charge. Zealots are coming in. We have very limited energy here for transfuse. I think we only have 2. But it looks like the base is going to fall. The Nexus will not stand. And Rhizer goes for a counterattack. Sure, he keeps his ground army here at home, but the Void Rays, they're looking to snipe a hatchery. And they're going to get it. Boy, Void Rays do reveal themselves. Queens are coming back home, which means they exposed the Roaches. Oh no. I don't know if this is really what Ukko wanted. The Roaches will kind of trade with the Zealots, but they're all going to get picked off. Meanwhile, Void Rays show up, and even though the Queens went back home, they were not fast enough. Hatchery falls. Queens finally make it here, but again, a little too late. And even though Rhizer lost the Nexus, which, sure, like, it's great that Ukko got it, like, this matters so much more for Ukko. The fact that he lost the 4th base. Like, 3 base versus 3 base, you never want to be a Zerg in this scenario. Rhizer, he's cleaning up the remaining Niduses. +2 is on the way. I feel like +2 is going to be what he's waiting for, and then he's going to hit that timing. And there it is. We have a War Prism as well. As soon as that's done, Rhizer, he's going to be going across the map. And what does Ukko have at home to defend? Sure, he's got a lot of queens. He's making mutas, though? Mutas are not what you need to defend. I mean, sure, they can harass across the map. That's cool and all. And they do get into the mineral line. Oh, they're forcing Rhizer to respond, but yo, he doesn't care. He's going across the map. The Void Rays are coming back home to help deal with the mutas. And the Void Rays are going to be enough. Meanwhile, the Zealots, the Archons, the Immortals, the Storm. I can't believe he has Storm. Oh, God. The mutas, sure, they did at least delay the push a little bit here. I'm surprised that actually Ukko did come back home. I mean, Rhizer. Oh my god, and nice target firing. Yo, the mutas actually deny all of these High Templar. The Storm is completely taken out of the equation. Only a single High Templar left. Nice moves by Ukko. Very nice. Meanwhile, we have the main push. Nidus does finish up once again. Again, Ukko is committed to this. He doesn't have a pretty good worker count at all. Oh god, he's essentially all in. But I don't know if the queens are going to be enough. The Roaches are also not in the best position to buffer either. The queens are falling left and right. We have the Storms on top of this as well. And Ukko plummets in supply. The mutas, they were trying to go for a bit of a counterattack, but I think Ukko was a little bit too indecisive with them. In the end, they were just a little bit idle in the middle of the map. Yeah, don't worry about the platypus. We'll look away, look away. Oh god, the mutas, they dive in, and some nice target fire. They do take out a couple of these Phoenixes, but again, I'm just concerned about the main army. Oh, the Nidus finishes up, but it was a little bit of a mistake. Queen gets picked off, Nidus gets picked off, and now Rhizer, the A move across the map, is coming. And meanwhile, we even have Adepts. Glaveless Adept harass at the 12-minute mark, because why the hell not? In comes the main army, the Queens are exposed, the Mutas are trying to come in, but again, Mutas against Archons, Void Rays, Phoenixes, this is not what you want to see. The Muta Cloud evaporates, GG gets called, and Rhizer takes the series 2-0. Showing us all that, hey, Rhizer, he's a damn good Protoss player. All the others, they were struggling against Ukko, but not Rhizer. GG. GG, well played. So how do tiebreakers work for this? That's a very good question. Because currently, this does mean with Ukko's loss, he has a very good score, but it's not clear-cut anymore. He's not head and shoulders above everyone else. Like someone like Rhizer, or even like depending on how the next series goes, this is going to be very interesting. Rhizer already has 2 wins. If PattyMac wins here, we're going to have a 3-way tie, and it will come down to map score, and then from there it'll come down to head to head. So, oh boy, we're going to have to do some math on stream. Oh, maybe. Oh, GG. Going for mutas while being behind that much is brave. It is. That's one way of putting it. I mean, it's a comeback mechanic. Like, being behind, he's like, okay, I'm gonna put all my eggs in the basket of mutas, and I'm gonna hope to get a couple of mineral lines, keep the army at home, and buy time. Unfortunately, it didn't really do that. It did a little bit to begin with, don't get me wrong, but it didn't accomplish enough in the end. And with that, GG. Congratulations, Rhizer. He takes his first win here. He already had a walkover win against Maplez, and now we have our final series of the night. It is going to be a PvP. It is going to be Rhizer up against PattyMac. And if PattyMac wants to get out of this group, he needs this win. And even if he wins here, things are going to get complicated. Things are going to get very complicated. Oh boy. Yes. Wikipedia does give default 2-0 to Rhizer for that walkover win. So, even if Rhizer loses this, because Rhizer went 4-0 to begin with, I think he still gets out. Maybe. And Ukko had a game that went to the ace match, so I think he's behind. We'll see how this goes. we'll figure it out at the end. We'll try to anyway. We'll try to. Here we go. Our final series, PvP. We're done with the PvZs. No more Skytoss. Fingers crossed. As we dive into PattyMac versus Rhizer. CranKy Ducklings versus LTK. The rematch. Let's go. And speaking of, here in the bottom left-hand corner of Glittering Ashes LE, we have the American Protoss player himself. He is red, representing the CranKy Ducklings. It is PattyMac. He needs this series win if he wants to make it out of Group Stage 2. Meanwhile, spawning in the top right-hand corner of Glittering Ashes LE, we have a player who may not need this win. It's hard to say. It's hard to say what he needs, but he is here looking to win regardless. The American Protoss. Purple, representing License to Kill. It is Rhizer. Oh boy. So what's important here is that even though Rhizer is on the same team as Maplez, he's not the same kind of player. Maplez is very unique, he has a reputation, And we saw that as he went Forge first every single game against PattyMac. Here, Rhizer is playing a lot more standard. A lot more standard. The big difference though is that Rhizer, he's playing it safe on Glittering Ashes, which is a little bit odd. It kind of makes sense because it's a PvP, but at the same time, he is being taken advantage of. What I mean by that is that he does go for the gateway wall here on the high ground in his main base, delaying his natural and playing safer, of course. Meanwhile, PattyMac goes more for a greedy opener, goes for a low ground wall instead, looking to go for a much faster nexus. That is, of course, why this initial probe is so important for Rhizer. He has to try and pylon block, and if he can, go for a cyber block once the pylon finishes. But he will not get the chance, as PattyMac was forced to make a zealot because of this probe, and, you know, his nexus will be a little bit delayed, but not by too much. As PattyMac, because of the pylon, he's actually forced to throw down his tech first. And his tech of choice is going to be a Robo. Oh, okay, okay. Not a Twilight Council. Oh my god, the probe is still here. As I was about to say, PattyMac should eventually throw down a Nexus, but meanwhile, Rhizer is ramping up the aggression here. I saw the Stargate opener. It is a proxy Stargate. Oh my god. Alright, so Oracles are going to be on the way here for Rhizer. Meanwhile, PattyMac with that Robo first is a little bit worrisome. Rhizer did scout it, if I'm not wrong. He did. And I'm a little bit concerned. We do have a couple of Stalkers here to defend. We do not have a shield battery though. Like, PattyMac is not playing this safe. The Oracle, I mean, it can deal a lot of damage here. Especially because the Stalkers are going to be hitting the front door. They're going to be pulling the Stalkers of PattyMac down to the low ground, forced to defend. And it will leave the door wide open for the Oracle. There you go, the Stalkers are chipping away, and it looks like they will force a cancel. Up! Oh, kill, not a cancel. Nice pick off by Rhizer. Meanwhile, Oracle's on the way. Stalkers immediately turn around. They're coming back into the mineral line. And it looks like PattyMac will get here in time. Does Rhizer care though? That is the question. He gets one probe. Only one. And that could have been a lot worse. Meanwhile, PattyMac gets across the map with a zealot. And, you know, he picks off, or he forces denial on a pylon, you know, at least. Yeah, does something at least, right? It's okay. And behind this, so I assumed that PattyMac was going to get at least a second immortal, but no, he doesn't care. He goes immediately for a War Prism. He's ready to go across the map. Which is bold, especially because he gets scouted. Like, I mean, the Oracle see. They even pick up a Stalker. Oh my god. Oh my god. He confirms the lack of workers here at the natural. This is a big tell, by the way. He confirms the rest of the Stalkers, and he doesn't see the War Prism, but he should see enough to be scared at home. Scared enough to play this out safe. He has one shield battery with overcharge, but there we go. Second shield battery gets thrown down. Rhizer has seen enough. He knows. Doesn't matter. That's the thing. Even though you have a shield battery, like, that's what the Immortal is for. Like, the Immortal is made to bust through that as fast as possible. And there are no stasis wards. Oh boy, instead the Oracles, they do dip in across the map. They will get a handful of worker kills, but that doesn't matter because here PattyMac is all in across the map. He's down 16 probes, by the way. Overcharge is being popped. Despite that, he is two-shotting whatever he can. The Immortals are having a hard time closing distance. The boys are being pulled. Decent force fields. In comes that War Prism. We see another Warp in straight in front of, in the face of Rhizer. Nice target fire. The War Prism does go down, but doesn't even matter. I feel like there's maybe too much on the ground here for PattyMac, as there's only 2 Stalkers remaining. Sure, there are 4 shield batteries, but what is there left for them to save? There's nothing for them to work on. The Artosis Pylon! Oh my god, the 4 shield batteries immediately neutralized and GG gets called. PattyMac takes the first game. Forced all in. It's one of those things where, again, Rhizer, he knew what was coming, but he didn't have what he needs to defend. Like, I would have loved it if his oracles had come back home and he threw down some stasis wards. Imagine, like, one even half decent stasis ward just to buy time. Oh, but instead they were across the map. They were killing probes that didn't even matter. GG gets called. PattyMac takes the first game. Damn. Rhizer got Patty smacked. Oh my god, I love it. GG. It was a great mind game as well, because like the opener of PattyMac, everything about the opener says macro, says economy, you know? And he didn't make any workers. He didn't make any workers at all at his natural, despite getting the Nexus. So it was a nice kind of mind game that kind of lured Rhizer into a false sense of security to begin with, and all kind of led into that win. But here we go. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the player who is currently leading this series 1-0. The CranKy Duckling himself, the American Protoss. It is PattyMac. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of 2000 Atmospheres ALE, we have the other American Protoss, but this one is purple. This one is representing Team License to Kill, currently down in the series but not out. It is Rhizer. And yo, the European ladder is really showing here. So fun fact, leading up to this series, PattyMac has been practicing a lot on the European ladder. I think he hit 6.1, almost 6.2k on the EU ladder, which is impressive. And this kind of shows that European PvP tends to go into the mid game and late game a lot more frequently. It's less aggressive, and you have players like MaxPax, who MaxPax every single PvP he goes for the low ground wall, even when it may not be the best kind of scenario to do so, just to get ahead in the mid game and kind of skip the early game aggression. And that's kind of what PattyMac is doing here. Game 1 and Game 2, low ground walls. Very, very kind of greedy of him. I know Trigger has been doing this a little bit. I know Trigger is also influenced by the European scene, but nowhere near as much. So yeah, meanwhile, Rhizer, a lot more standard here. There's double gates on the wall. On the ramp. And we'll see how this kind of progresses. Once again, same openers. The Zealot is forced out because if you don't get the Zealot, then this pylon will never die. You need the Zealot, especially if you want that Nexus. And this time, instead of a Robo, PattyMac, he throws down a Stargate. Oh boy. And that's brutal. The pylon actually finished, and Rhizer, he doubles down and he goes for the Cyber Block. Ay. PattyMac, he's floating minerals. He has enough minerals for a Nexus, but he can't throw it down due to this Cyber Block. So Rhizer being incredibly annoying here. And in a way, kind of neutralizing how greedy this opener can be. As the Cyber Core even finishes, and yeah, PattyMac, that Nexus that he wanted, is going to be quite late. So instead, he fully walls off. The Adepts do show up, but we have a full wall off, so the Adepts don't even matter. They will actually get this Stalker, though. Oh my god. Stalker goes down. The next Stalker is honestly kind of late. These Adepts are dealing more damage than they really should have. Oh my god. I mean, the Stalker will eventually come out, but it's pretty impressive what these Adepts have done. Meanwhile, quickly looking at the vision, the Stargate was scouted, so we should see a shield battery in the mineral line, and that's exactly what we have. Rhizer respecting the Stargate opening, and the Oracle shouldn't deal any damage at all, to be honest. As the Adepts actually killed the shield battery. Oh my god. Rhizer actually getting a lot of really early wins here. Rhizer even confirming the natural base. I'm sure he would have been afraid of like a 1 base all in, but now he knows. Oracle gets across the map, and it shouldn't find any damage. One Oracle does not have enough DPS to out-heal a shield battery. So now he's just forced to chill, and at least he can use the Oracle to scout. What I was going to say as well is that, of course, we could always see a second Oracle, and 2 Oracles are enough to overpower a shield battery, but we actually don't have anything else out of the Stargate. So again, like, the opener of PattyMac just really hasn't paid for itself. The Nexus for Rhizer is actually ahead, by the way. It's actually faster than that of PattyMac. Only slightly, but it's there. Oracle tries to dip in. We do have a stasis ward. No reaction! Up! Oh, very late reaction. Oh my god, double stasis ward? Oh my god, he's gonna get it! Oh. Oh my god. I've never seen this before. Jesus Christ, so much just trapped in stasis. PattyMac actually getting value with his Oracle. Let's go. Unfortunately, Rhizer was a little bit preoccupied there at his natural. He wasn't paying attention. Okay, there we go. The boys go back to mining, but for... I mean, just look at that graph. Look at that economic graph just go deep in the red for PattyMac. Jesus Christ. And it's little moves like that PattyMac, he's getting himself back into this, you know, right? Sure, like his Nexus was late, but now with all of that, he's able to just take the lead in the economy, focusing on his worker production. Oh, but the Adepts get in. Oh god! PattyMac slipping up here. He was a little bit duped. The Adepts are looking like they wanted to go into the main base, but no, they went into the natural. 3 probes go down. As well as a full scout, I believe. Oh no, he actually didn't get into the main. I thought the Shade saw the buildings, but unfortunately the Shade was unable to. And this is where I'm a little bit concerned. PattyMac is getting a 3rd base. Reason why I'm concerned? We have a War Prism. Rhizer, he's looking to be the aggressor. He's going across the map. He has 4 gates on the way in total. Blink is already done. 4-gate Blink Stalker, let's go. Oh, and this is going to hit like a truck. And PattyMac has no idea. He hasn't seen this. Stalkers are about to show up. We do have 1 shield battery here. We have a Dark Shrine on the way as well. Bold move, PattyMac. Bold move. But without Blink, like, I think he's just going to lose all his Stalkers. He gets force fielded out. That's it. We do have Overcharge, and PattyMac, he is able to keep his Stalkers alive, despite not having any micro potential, and Blink is going to finish up. Ooh. That was close. If it wasn't for that overcharge, if it wasn't for this shield battery, I do think that PattyMac just would have lost his entire army. Meanwhile, Rhizer, he's not stopping. He's not going back home. He's still here, going to look to deny this 3rd base. PattyMac, though, now he has Blink as well. Sure, we have a couple of force fields, but the Blinks are looking pretty good. I say pretty good, but again, Rhizer is still overwhelming the army of PattyMac. He just has the numbers. He just has the gates. Another whooping of Stalkers, and it looks like Rhizer, he may just get this base. Immortal comes up, and it's so exposed. We have the aggressive Blink forward. Immortal goes down, and with the death of the Immortal, that's the death of everything else here. Again, instead of going into the natural base, he just wants the confirmed kill on this 3rd. At the same time, Oracle is across the map, but not really finding too much at all. Do we have a... No, yeah, we do have a robo. I was about to say maybe the DTs can do something, but I believe we already have detection. Yeah. It's right here. Can always be recalled back home. PattyMac, he gets knocked down to 2 bases. He is working on more gateways, so he's going to try and get back up in that Stalker count and overwhelm his opponent, but... oh god, he just can't really fight this. He's trying desperately to, but the pylon goes down. Oh, his gates get depowered. DTs do get across the map, and hey, you know what? They're dealing damage. They force a recall. But despite the recall, 12 workers have gone down. A surprising amount of damage, to be honest. So with that PattyMac, he takes the worker lead. No, the Cybercore, no, please! Oh, he barely keeps it alive with the overcharge. He cannot afford to lose it. He's actually making a second Cybercore just in case. He's ready to lose it. PattyMac will barely hold on. Nice blink forward. He will get the War Prism. Any kind of pressure of the aggression is now alleviated. Rhizer has to go back home. But behind this Rhizer, he's got a third base. Got a forge. Can work on his upgrades. Hasn't started them, but he can work on them. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oracle finally gets dealt with. And things are kind of evening up. I say kind of. Rhizer still has the superior economy. Like, he's doubling down as well with all these shield batteries. He also has the upgrade advantage as well. I don't know if expanding is the right move. It was a little bit off-center, unfortunately. But, like, how does PattyMac get back into this? I kind of want to see him throw down a Robotics Bay. I feel like the only way PattyMac can get back into this is if he skips +1, accepts the fact that he's behind economically, and get ahead tech-wise and go straight into Disruptors. It's risky, sure, but, like, you have to take risks right now, like, when you know you're behind. Like, DTs are something, I guess. But at the moment, still just pure Blink Stalker. Stalker Immortal. Maybe with the Immortal count, maybe PattyMac can do this. He's only down 4 Stalkers. But the shield batteries, I don't know, man. The shield batteries are pretty good. There's no Artosis Pylon. We have Overcharge. Here we go. PattyMac, he's committed to this. He's pushing on forward. Does snipe a couple of Stalkers here and there, but there is the Overcharge. And with that, PattyMac has to respect it. He has to back off. And yo, he's listening to the stream. He knows. I would have liked this a little bit earlier, but this is what we needed. We need a Robotics Bay. Oh god, no. Okay. The War Prism just barely sneaks by. Rhizer does not see it. Speaking of War Prism, though, there's also one going into the main base. PattyMac needs time to get his Disruptors, and right now, Rhizer's not looking to give him that time. We have a massive warp in into the main base. The main army is also pushing in towards the natural, towards the third. Oh, so let's get in. And PattyMac, he's stuck. He can't really respond. No mining in the main. Oh, god. In comes the main army. The first Immortal is exposed. Barely it survives. And the Zealots are just wreaking havoc in the natural base of PattyMac. At the same time, DT's in the main of Rhizer. Workers going down left and right for both players. But that first Immortal was so exposed. There's only one Immortal left here for PattyMac. Again, fighting outside of shield battery range. Yo, defensive DTs. Big brain. Oh, the Dark Shrine of Rhizer finishes. Kind of wanted PattyMac to snipe it, not gonna lie. He won't get it. Overcharge keeps it alive. And PattyMac defends. Not the best position. Working on is still looking pretty rough, but at least he survived. Honestly, I thought Rhizer was gonna come in for the kill. And to be fair, he's still kind of killing. Oh no, and now the DTs are coming in! War Prism will go down, but not before the DTs do get warped in. Going into the main, going into the natural base. Where is the detection? We do have observers for PattyMac, but they're a little bit slow, and the DTs are still dealing damage anyway. Got a bit of a 1-2 punch. Rhizer, he's back with a vengeance. At the same time, PattyMac's also in the main base of Rhizer with more DTs. Just DTs everywhere! And who comes out on top? PattyMac is actually trying to focus down the observer of Rhizer, but he doesn't get it in the end. Rhizer just has so many gateway units here. He's just overwhelming the ground army of PattyMac. Not just that, but all the workers are falling as well. PattyMac down to only 18. And it looks like that may just be it. Rhizer just has too much. And we are going to be going to our ace match. It's happening, people. GG. And we're going to game 3. Oh my god. We never got to see the disruptors. GG. And I don't know how this is gonna go. What's important though is that because this is going to the ace match, if PattyMac wins, oh god, we'll get to it when we get to it. We'll see how this goes. Obviously, a little bit biased here. I want my boy to do well, but Rhizer is a very strong player. PvP is wild as well. Are we going to see a Forge? Are we going to see a Proxy in the ace match? I want to see it. Let's go. Spawning in the top left hand corner of Pride of Altaris LE. We got our boy, the Duckling himself, the American Duckling, the CranKy Duckling. It is PattyMac. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Pride of Altaris LE, we have the American Protoss player tying up the series 1-1, representing Team License to Kill, as it looks like they had a bit of a pause. It is Rhizer. This time, both players going for their low ground walls. Oh boy. Here we go. So there's a lot that can happen here on Pride of Altaris. One, it's a very long map. It's relatively large. You know, there's plenty of room for proxies. More importantly, there are gold bases. Gold bases doesn't really affect Protoss as much as the other races, but I mean, I don't know, if we had like a charge all in, could come into play. I just don't think that these are the kind of players to do that, you know. This isn't our Maplez. This isn't even... It's not even, I don't know, even Nina. Nina loves to meme things up a little bit whenever she can. But yeah, these players, not so much. Not as much, I should say. Oh, as this time, PattyMac actually gets his Nexus on time. Rhizer slipping up a little bit there. Okay. Interesting. So this time, PattyMac doesn't need a Zealot. Likewise, PattyMac does not delay the Nexus of Rhizer. So this is a lot more standard. I don't know if like both players had a little bit of like a gentleman's agreement sort of thing, where like, you know what? Enough of the shenanigans, the DTs, the denials, like the all-ins. We're just gonna expand. Okay. Fair enough. What I will say is that Rhizer is playing this a little bit safer. He prioritizes the sentry. With the power of the sentry, you can go for a hallucination, you can scout across the map. So again, a very safe opener. Meanwhile, PattyMac delays his gateway unit for a much faster Stargate instead. So PattyMac looking to be a little bit more aggressive, less concerned with what his opponent is doing in the early game. Meanwhile, we just still have a probe here. PattyMac, he just confirms, hey, you know, you did get a sentry first. Like, I know that I'm safe. There's no fast Twilight Council or Robo or anything like that. Twilight Council does get thrown down after PattyMac loses his worker, but the potential of it being scouted is there as the first Oracle is on the way. Which, by the way, was scouted by Rhizer because there were no gateway units. There was nothing to kill this probe. It was just chilling for the whole time. Okay, and oh, we're seeing a side of PattyMac that we haven't seen yet. He goes for a Twilight Council straight into the Forge, mate. This man, he wants upgrades. Meanwhile, this first Oracle, shouldn't find too much damage, gets caught by the hallucination. Ay, ay, ay. Feels bad, man. Feels bad. Rhizer should always be there to meet the Oracle. Oh, only one Stalker. Mates, PattyMac realizes he just dives on the sentries. Gets one. And this is the problem with being as safe as you are from Rhizer. He opens up with triple sentry, and because of that, you don't have too much firepower. Meanwhile, to be fair, he was saving all of that gas, all those resources for this. Much faster blink, and he himself is also going into a forge for +1. So Blink Stalker versus Blink Stalker. Let's go. As 1-1 is on the way for both players. PattyMac's +1 was delayed, by the way. He actually delayed his +1 for a much faster third base. Interesting move. I think what made him do this was when he scouted and when he saw all the sentries, he's like, yo, you are being so defensive right now. You're not being aggressive at all. Like, why not get another base, right? As quickly as possible. And it makes sense. Like, despite the faster blink, like, there's no Robo, there's no Warp Prism, like, there's no real major threat across the map. Unless there was a proxy gateway. You know, that would change things. But Rhizer, he's just chilling at home, getting his own third up and running. Meanwhile, Rhizer is being a little bit cheeky here. It's not like the most standard play, as a Dark Shrine is behind the mineral line, well defended by all these Stalkers, so PattyMac is actually completely unaware of this. There is a Robo on the way though, so DTs shouldn't just straight up end the game, but as we saw in the previous game, like, even if there is detection, DTs can just still do a lot of damage. Which is why even PattyMac goes for a Dark Shrine. It's become standard in PvP, you know? Just DTs. Why not? Why not? And Rhizer's just taking up even further. I thought we were going to stay on Blink Stalker a little bit longer, but no, as soon as it's done, charge is on the way for Rhizer. We should see it on the way at some point here for PattyMac as well. Because they're both getting their third bases up and running, we could even finally see some disruptors, some purification novas. We were denied that in the previous game. We may get that here in this series in Game 3. If the game goes on long enough. And yeah, here we go. The first DTs are on the way. Here towards the top right. They have a proxy pylon, so DTs are already going to show up. Do we have detection? We do have detection at the third base. Unfortunately, there's no Warp Prism, so they can't just go straight into the main, and yeah. First DT's not going to do much, unfortunately. Pushed away. Second one, though, trying to slip in. Oh, but there's a cannon. Ay, ay, ay. At least gets 3 probes. At least puts him on notice, and there it is. We have a robotics bay. We're getting disruptors. It's happening. It should be happening. Last game, the game ended before we got disruptors, but here we will have them. I'm surprised that Rhizer hasn't thrown down his own bay. Going for 5 gates instead. Going for a much more heavy zealot composition. War Prism's on the way as well, so Rhizer, he's the one that's going to be looking to go across the map. Which is a little bit scary. Again, like, Rhizer is forcing himself in a position where, because he's investing so much into this, he needs to get damage done. Meanwhile, PattyMac is going to have disruptors on the way, and they're going to change the tide of the battle. Like, this is... Well, I'm a little bit worried here for Rhizer. Not gonna lie. DTs are on the way. Rhizer going to charge Lord Archon, it seems. Again, avoiding disruptors. I know some players that, like, stylistically, they don't enjoy balls in PvP, which I guess kind of makes sense. They can be sometimes very coin flippy, and they can be difficult to control. But okay, there we go. I was like, we should still be seeing one from Rhizer. We should. As the main army does push out across the map, at the same time, the War Prism is getting ready to push into the main base. So Rhizer with some multi-prone. And oh my god, the 4 DTs show up and there's nothing at home! He just warped in across the map! Uh-oh. Oh god, with that, the DTs, they're just gonna go unhindered. Finally, we have another warp in at home defensively. Rhizer turns around with his army. Oh my god, everything is forced back home. DTs finally get dealt with, but this delays any kind of aggression from Rhizer. And the DT at the third is still not dealt with. Now Rhizer can push in with his War Prism, but the problem is that, like, ideally he was looking to distract the main army with his army and then sneak in. But now there's none of that at all. Like, there's nothing stopping PattyMac from just focusing on the aggression in his main and defending. His attention isn't being spread thin, I guess is what I should say. So War Prism gets into the main. Oh my god, we have a shield battery. It's not enough to keep that cannon alive though. DTs, they're getting damage done. They're getting work done. They will force everything back, but the problem is that there's nothing to punish this. Like, PattyMac, he comes back all the way into the main base, but, I mean, still ahead in workers. He's ahead in bases. Fourth base just now finishes up for Rhizer. And Rhizer also shows his hand. Now PattyMac, in the back of his mind, he should always be thinking, okay, I have to respect this War Prism. And that's why he throws down even more side defense. He's getting ready for this to happen again, essentially. Meanwhile, what I will say is that at least Rhizer was able to keep PattyMac at home, and now he's getting his own disruptors. And now we've reached a point where it doesn't matter that PattyMac has the greater disruptor count, because all you need is like 1 or 2 good shots. Like, doesn't matter how many disruptors you have. There's always a world where maybe one player isn't paying attention at the wrong moment, and that's it. So the main fight can still go either way, is what I'm getting at here. Oh god, here we go. Both armies do scout each other. It's all about the Novas. Up. First Nova goes off, doesn't connect with anything yet. At the same time, DTs blink forward. Yo, there's more than enough DTs to deal with all of the— oh god! Disruptor shot goes off and does connect with the main army of PattyMac. Ay. The DTs are dealing damage, but he is losing the main fights. Here we go. We do have a couple of reinforcing disruptors, and the DTs, they got the entire mineral line. Oh god, the disruptors. Oh, we only have 1 Nova left. And it looks like the disruptors are getting picked off one after the other. Again, Rhizer, he takes a great engagement here, but he loses so much at home. Oh my god, he has so many oh my god, so many disruptors! The hell? He's got 7! Ay, PattyMac, can he defend? That is the big question here. He's ahead by 20 when it comes to the probe count. Doesn't even matter. Here we go, Rhizer, he's all in. Bit of an early Nova. Got me a little bit nervous, not gonna lie. But here we go, he has the numbers. He has to be careful though, he still has to respect whatever PattyMac has. Novas go off, they do connect. Oh god! Oh, only 1 disruptor gets picked off. The DTs, they just keep coming back. Oh, Stasis Ward goes off. Nice connection. Oh, so do the Novas. Charge lots are coming in behind this. We have a blink on forward. I don't know if that was the best move, as the Stalkers are getting picked off one after the other. But the charge lots are the real MVP here. PattyMac, he comes out with the flank, and it is going to be enough to take out every single one of the disruptors. War Prism even gets picked off. We have detection. PattyMac has everything he needs. Never mind, that was actually Rhizer's observer. Oh my god. Oh my god, he needs observers. We have 2 being produced. PattyMac needs detection. Oh god. But I think that's it, mate. How many more disruptors do we have? We have 0. We have 0 disruptors on the map right now. It's all about the Gateway Army. PattyMac's round though, exactly Space Moon Milk. It's exactly what PattyMac needed. Not just that, the Stasis Ward also helped a lot as well. Now here we go, this is the last chance for Rhizer. It's all about the Nova. Even 1 though isn't going to be enough. The 4th base falls. And I think PattyMac has done it. Sure, he loses a decent chunk of those Zealots. We have some DTs harassing the top left. Top right even. But I don't know if it's going to be enough. Again, Rhizer needs the juiciest Novas possible. Oh, detection? PattyMac? Uh-oh. Oh my god, the Nova goes off and there's no response. PattyMac, he doesn't blink. Finally, he blinks on forward, but it's a little bit too late. Oh my god, Rhizer, he's kind of doing it. He's defending. Kind of. He still will lose the third base though. Like, that was maybe the best fight that Rhizer could have gone for. Could have had. It wasn't enough anyway. GG gets called and PattyMac still takes the series. Oh my god. I was like, PattyMac, please. GG. He does it. He fights back. PattyMac takes the series 2-1. And now I have no idea what the groups are looking like. I don't know. Oh no, the bot's down. We can't Funada. No. But yes, GG, well played. Casting PvP is always stressful. It's always so stressful. Oh god. Again, it did come down to that great flank that PattyMac had with all those zealots. He may have been losing the disruptor battle, but again, he was able to close the distance and get on top of them anyway, despite, again, there was a period where he had only 2 disruptors compared to 7 of Rhizer. It was insane. It didn't even matter. It didn't even matter. GG, well played. DTs also came into play as well. Shout out to Rhizer. He did put up a very strong fight towards the end, even though he was dying horribly. He was fighting his heart out, trading as best as he could, having the best fights that he could have hoped for, but even then it just wasn't enough because of how far behind he was. And yeah, with that, GG. And now we gotta do some math. Let's go. So let's quickly switch some scenes here. And I believe we have a 3-way tie with Ukko, Rhizer, and PattyMac winning 2 of their series. If I'm not mistaken. Yes, they have. But that does mean that it will come down to map score. Which 2 players are going to make it out? Fingers crossed that Liquipedia page has been being updated. And it looks like it has. And with this, oh, it looks like due to map score, purely off of map score, Rhizer comes out on top with 5-2, 5 wins and 2 losses. Meanwhile, PattyMac comes out second with 5 wins and 3 losses, and Ukko comes out third with 4 and 3. Oh boy, again, the fact that Ukko got 2-0'd by Rhizer really did influence that, and also the fact that PattyMac took a game off of Ukko as well in their series. So even though they all had the same overall series wins and losses, when it comes down to the maps, Ukko was lacking there. He needed some more ace matches. If Ukko had 1 win against Rhizer, 1 map win, then he would get out, because he would be equal in score with PattyMac, and he would be ahead in the head-to-head because Ukko won against PattyMac. But yeah, wow. GG, we have confirmation. Rhizer and PattyMac, our 2 players here, they make it through. They make it through to the playoffs. Oh boy. GG. Oh, he has 69. He has 69. Oh, fair enough, fair enough. Oh, God. But yeah, GG. GG, well played. Congratulations to our 2 Protoss players. My condolences to Ukko. Again, it was so close. The 3-way tie was so close. Ukko just needed 1 map win, or win his series 2-0 against PattyMac. Like, just 1 map was all it was between Group Stage 2 and the playoffs. Brutal, brutal. But yeah, in the end, it is our Protoss players that come out on top, which is a little bit worrisome when it comes to Zerg. So what I mean by that is that means that so far 0 Zerg players have made it out of the group stage, and I'm looking at Group B. I don't see a Zerg player getting out of Group B either. If I look at Group A, Antis has the biggest chance. Trigger is the strongest player in that group. Antis has been popping off, and I feel like if you want to put your faith in it, if Zerg players in the chat, if you want to put your faith in anyone, it's got to be Antis. Maybe Hunter can pull off an upset. Maybe Cats can come out with like some weird builds. But at the moment we have 0 Zergs, so oh boy. The rest of the Zerg players, they got a lot to do. They got to carry the race, mate. Carry the race in North America. And yeah, GG. As for sure is putting their !B in the chat if you want to have a look at the brackets, if you want to have a look at all the groups. Group A will be casted in 2 days. Just under 2 days. Just under 48 hours. And it will be over on Biomorph's channel. It won't be here. You know, we don't want to be too greedy on the CranKy Ducklings. We split it in half. We got 2 groups and Biomorph has the other 2 groups. So like that, it is 50-50, and they will be casted on his channel. So be sure to give him plenty of love. Meanwhile, if you want to support the tournament, !Matcherino in the chat. There is a Matcherino page for this tournament, and I believe, shout out to the people, all of the codes have been used. There we go, 0 out of 50 remaining there, so massive shout out to everyone in the chat who used the code. If you want to support the tournament even further, there are some Twitch Quest rewards. You can add like a couple of cents here and there if you follow Apprentice Esports or Alpha X. Alpha X is one of the main sponsors of this tournament, so again, shout out to them. And also, I just noticed, massive shout out to Lord Logan in the chat. He gifted some subs earlier and he also contributed 30 USD, 35 USD actually, to the prize pool. So massive shout out to Lord Logan. Again, thank you so much for the support. The players appreciate it. Especially because like this is, for those wondering, this is basically GSL for North America, or GSL for the Americas. It's region locked only to North, South, and Central America, and yeah, this is just everything American. So yeah, massive shout out. The scene does really appreciate the support, and without Sugar, the scene would be worse off. You know, like he's really carrying North American StarCraft on his back. So massive shout out to Sugar. He's been doing so for many years now, many years. He was able to like pick up where Fear Dragon left off. If you remember, if you're an old school fan, Fear Dragon, he used to be the one that was all about NA StarCraft. He had Breaking Out, he had NA ladder heroes, he was doing everything he could. And of course, sometimes real life gets in the way of your passions, and Fear Dragon, he had to go and work full time. He had to move as well to the coast and pick up his life and relocate and all this stuff. So because of that, Fear Dragon did kind of have to pull out, but at least there was someone like Sugar to step up to the plate, and yeah, massive shout out to Sugar. Oh boy, to the point where Sugar even now started his own team a couple of months ago, this year, Apprentice Esports. A very strong North American team, so much love, much love. So when am I co-casting this guy? Ukko winning one map versus Rhizer would have resulted in a dead race. True, that would have been so interesting. Because the head-to-head, it would be a 3-way tie in every sense of the word. How would we have sorted that? I'm trying to think. Slow Iran. Like, I'm trying to think, like, if that had happened, we would probably have to have a show match. We would have to have like a tiebreaker match. 100%. Like, there's no other way. Wow. That would have been insane. Yeah. It would have been a lot of fun if that had happened. Unfortunately, it didn't. I'm sure Sugar appreciates it didn't happen because it would have complicated a lot of things. But yeah. With that, GG, well played. Oh, I also just realized I didn't even put the score in for Rhizer versus Ukko. Hold on. There we go. Beautiful, beautiful. All the scores are now up to date. And with that, thank you everyone for watching today. I appreciate it. It was kind of a rough cast. Typically I have a co-caster with me to help. Exclamation mark Funada Starduck in the chat. He was supposed to cast with me, but he is actually passed out. He is full DGen sleep schedule. He's been staying up to watch TSL, and he is actually waking up at 4 p.m. if you can believe it. He's waking up at 4 p.m. 4 p.m. God damn it. God damn it, Starduck. So his sleep schedule is absolutely ruined. I don't know how else to put it. I guess it's the end of the year, you know, school's going on break. He doesn't have to worry too much, you know, he's living that gamer lifestyle. At least ladder then. God damn it, Starduck. God damn it. So yeah, I did have to solo cast today, and my voice is paying the price for it, but it was a lot of fun. There were some fun games. At least there wasn't a TVT. I would have struggled solo casting a TVT, but we didn't have to worry about that, so it's fine. It's fine. And yeah, with that, I appreciate the support from everyone. Shout out to PattyMac. PattyMac makes it out. He's going to be there in the playoffs. He's going to be representing the CranKy Ducklings, and hopefully he can go even further. The playoff bracket will be announced next week after the group stage has finished up, so keep an eye on social media. It will be posted, and we will be retweeting it. So if you want to stay up to date with all the current news and going-ons in the CranKy Ducklings, then check us out on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. We have our Discord server as well, so you can join that if you want to interact with us. Sometimes we have viewing parties, sometimes we have drunk ladder sessions or custom games going on. It's awful. But it's a lot of fun. If you want to be a part of that, and also gain replay packs if you're a subscriber. Again, if you're a subscriber or a patron on Patreon, all the support that you give to us goes towards our tournaments that we run and our players as well. It's thanks to the support in the Twitch chat. It's thanks to you guys that we are able to have a pro team and that we're able to have someone like PattyMac represent us. So thank you. Gracias. And with that, thank you everyone for watching. If you want to follow my solo stuff, I do also stream at light_VIP on Twitch and Twitter. On Twitch, and I post on Twitter. You can follow some ladder sessions there. I stream some Final Fantasy. I'm currently playing through Final Fantasy 12, and also Final Fantasy 14 with the Ducklings. So if you're interested in that, then head on over. Otherwise, if you just want casting and if you just want StarCraft, then that is here on the CranKy Ducklings. And with that, thank you everyone for watching. I appreciate it. We appreciate it. And we will see you next time. Our next broadcast will be in 2 days, I believe. I think. Yes, in 2 days. GPO, Grand Platypus Open, will be live in a couple of days there, so be sure to tune in to some Oceanic and Southeast Asian StarCraft. See you then. Ciao.